interpret or explain this thing properly, right? So use those key functions. You can put the barest minimum, like, maybe the other things you feel are not your core functions underneath, no problem. But your top five should be your key functions, meaning that even from the job descriptions, you're saying the first 5 or 6 things you're putting are the core jobs that or core requests that they have for you, or core tasks they want you to come and fill in, or the role, whatever the case may be. Those are the key things they want to see in the CV, using your buzzwords. Because there are words that are very like will be repeated in the job descriptions in terms of what your role or what you're coming in for, right? So you need to be able to utilize those things. Um, I mean, I think I pretty much have spoken about this, what to note in your ATS kind of CV, right? It has to be simple and clean. As I said, the software does not recognize tables or heavy designs. If you go and put a very heavy, it took too much time to design something, it doesn't know that. It can't even explain or understand your storytelling if you're giving it that. They're just basic things that it needs to have. Oh, clear headers that speak about your work experience, that speak about your skill set, that talks about your project. If you're putting that there, it is simply there. What's the font size? It has to be consistent from start to finish. Your font size has to be consistent. The type of font you're using has to be consistent. Not the one that we see Arial here, Calibri here, New Times Roman, another plot, different. Why it should not be there. Consistency. If you're using one font, use one font throughout. The same size, use everything throughout, right? Bold titles. So that way it's able to say, oh, this is what this person's job title is. This is what the person's start date and end date was, or what is and what not. In terms of how you're also sending your files, except asked otherwise, you typically will send it as PDF. It shouldn't be a Word document. Bearing in mind, because sometimes when you send as a Word document, you don't know what operating system I'm using. And by the time I receive it, it might be my system has not been updated. So it will definitely change the way your CV is, the format of your CV is going to change it. Something might be, it might just look, oh, this person's CV is not put together. I've closed and I've moved on. So when you send it as a PDF document, it is more arranged, more aligned. I get to see what it is, right? And then if, for example, you need to send me a link or something, you're going to just share a link to me where I can see in particular what you want me to see, which is probably done in your website, in your Canva, whatever the case may be. You have that there, right? So we move on to how do you make your personality pop professionally? And this is talking about how your personality, your potential can come through in your CV, in your cover letter, in your profile summary, in how you're telling your story for your portfolio, whatever the case may be, right? How can you make that pop? This speaks on your tone of voice, right? There are 4 things we typically look out for this. And this is in terms of professionalism. Are you able to maintain a clear and confident tone throughout? Typically, we will see this when you're talking about your experience or when you're talking about your achievements, right? So for example, I could say, oh, maybe I led a team who launched maybe 4 campaigns for TikTok for this particular brand that boosted engagement by 60% coming from initial, I give them a number or a range, right? But it comes through because this is my own achievements, right? Maybe, for example, when I joined this company, the page was maybe just 100 subscribers or 100 followers. But by the time I was done, based on this campaign that I led, that we did on TikTok, targeting the Gen Z, or we did on Twitter, targeting the people or the community there, we had a space done, this done. I led to, that is my achievement. But I'm saying it in a tone that's even your the recruiter understands. It comes off as a professional tone. It's not coming off as maybe you are bragging or something. Like, it's not that. I mean, you should patch yourself for doing a solid job, but it's also the way you're communicating these things, right? It comes through as competence. I'm not feeling this person is doing it in silos or anything. Now, I talk about conversation now. This is where you talk about like your summary, your profile summary, or your cover letter, right? That's where your conversational tone will come through. Most times as a creative, this is where you shine because you might not have the opportunity to put so much in your CV itself, but in your cover letter, it tells a story. You're able to hook me. It's your punchline. You're able to hook me right from what I'm seeing, the first letter. I've seen instances where people would literally forward an email that they have sent to maybe another company to us without a storyline, nothing whatsoever. I understand as a creative, right? Sometimes they're not all out for writing stuff. No, they are creative through and through. Do a design, do this one. It's maybe people who are copywriters that would, yeah, thrive in that part of things, but it's something you need to take note of. Even if you're not the best at it, there are still ways to push yourself. And because again, bearing in mind perception, what I read is what would entice me. Is it engaging? Do I feel some form of connection to you? Like, do I feel like you fit into our culture or the vibe of the company? Am I getting that before I even have the opportunity to look at your CV? So that comes through from a professional summary or your cover letter. That's where you have a whole lot of the conversational kind of tone that we're looking out for, right? For a creative, this is maybe where you have like your portfolio. In your portfolio should be your strongest and best work. That should be what you're putting in your portfolio. I don't want to see something that is so outdated. Like you should upgrade, right? You need to update your portfolio consistently, like maybe every 6 months or 3 months, depending on the kind of project you're doing. Because as a human, you also evolve. It's the same way your portfolio would evolve. Your style, what you do, how you design, what you put there, your ideas, it also changes, right? So your portfolio needs to be updated with your best work that shows your story. It shows like originality because again, when you're putting your portfolio, it's not all about just dropping visuals or dropping creatives or I will see pictures and stuff like that. No, there should be some form of context, right? Give me context into what is this? How did this, come into play? So, for example, it could be that I'm showing you a creative and I'm like, oh, this was born out of maybe a late night scrolling on TikTok or scrolling on Twitter. And I saw this particular stuff. And 2 weeks later, I and my team, we did this, we brainstormed, we did this, we did that, and we were able to do this. I went viral or it did this numbers. That shows me your creativity. That shows me your thought process, like how you're able to think fast, how you're able to actualize things, how you're able to together with people to make this come to life. And whether it was a viral campaign or trend or not, but at least I get to see the result of that. And then the result focused part is the one I think people always shoot themselves in the leg because I always see CVs where people are talking about, oh, I don't know why they do that, but I guess maybe based on what they're seeing, a lot of people do. They would have the parts where they would say, oh, I moved from this to 30% increase in this. And I'm like, how? You're not giving me context here. How did you move from 30% to this? So, meaning you need to give me a backstory, right? I need to understand that experience and that accomplishments. It started from what? If it was that I managed, for example, a social media manager, I managed this page from 10K to 100K followers using XYZ metrics, or this is what I did. It gives me insight that, okay, this person knows their numbers. They know what they're speaking about. But not just saying, oh, I increased the company's profits by 30%. Guys, really? How? It's very unrealistic. Except you're giving me the actual, you're explaining how you're able to do that. What led to what did you have to do? So that is where you have most of those things, right? Um, okay, someone is in the waiting room. Let me admit. Sorry, are we all following, please? You can all hear me.
Yes, we are. I'll add the people in the waiting room. It's fine.
Okay, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. Okay, so how do we structure your portfolio as a creative? What do you need to know? What do you need to do? Right? Because remember when I mentioned that your portfolio or your CV is your first audition, literally. Is the first thing we see and we know about you before we even call you over the phone or schedule an interview or anything. Your portfolio speaks for you before we go into anything. And your portfolio needs to be structured in a way that answers a couple of questions. So the first thing would be, what is the purpose or what is your audience? Who are you targeting? Who are you preparing that portfolio for? Right? Is it for an employer? Is it for a client? Is it for an agency or for a recruiter? These are all different. Let me explain. If it's for a client, what kind of client are you preparing a portfolio for? Is it maybe those in the banking space? So meaning that your portfolio will be structured in a way that sheds light on the creatives or work or anything that you have done for banking, the banking sector. Those are your core things before you start adding different, maybe other sectors. But the first three, four, five designs or copies, slogans, whatever the case may be, right, should be relating to that particular client. If it's for an agency, I want to see the diverse sectors you have worked in. If it's FMCG, I'd want to see. If it's a fintech space, I would like to see. If it is in the financial sector, I would like to see. If it's in the hospitality, I would like to see the different cadres or areas that if you have had experience in that. So agency portfolio is different. Client's portfolio is specifically targeted to a particular client or particular sector or industry. And same applies to recruiter. Depends on what kind of recruitment you are actually even going in line with. That would give you direction into crafting or drafting your portfolio to that. Then the second thing would be, what do you want to show? As a designer, are you going to show your skill sets? So are you going to be able to show that, oh, as a designer, I'm able to do layout, I'm able to do brand identity, I've been able to do maybe, for example, social media kind of creatives. I'm able to do thoughts for UI, UX. As a copywriter, I want to see, oh, blog post. What kind of stuff have you done for blog posts? What kind of blog posts have you been able to push out, right? Your long form writing. Have you also been able to do like, slogans for campaigns or ads for campaigns? Like, so what am I seeing exactly, right? As a strategist, what am I seeing? Also, a social media manager, what am I seeing? Am I seeing campaigns for different sector? Am I seeing your form of reporting that you have done? Not just managing, maybe, for example, only TikTok. I get to see the different things you have done for the different kind of sector. Oh, I'm seeing TikTok, I'm seeing Twitter, I'm seeing Instagram, I'm seeing LinkedIn as well. I'm seeing Facebook. I'm seeing your reporting skill that, oh, I've done like a report thingy. I'm showing you back end. All of these things will help me understand that, oh, this person is versatile. This person is knowledgeable in different things. Because sometimes when I have conversation with people that are coming in for social media, they think it's all about posting. It is not. Posting is the easiest thing on social media. Like, that is the easiest. When you have to brainstorm, think of your content calendar for the month, when you need to post, it means you need to also understand each of the platform, social media platform. Understand the target audience in those places. When do you need to post? You can't post at 9 a.m. when your target audience are not going to be there. What time would they be there? What kind of content? Is it going to be a carousel? Is it going to be a still creative? Is it going to be a pull stuff you're going to do? Is it going to be video? Are you humanizing it or not? All of those things come into play. How do you do your reports? It's not just to take a screenshot of, there are different things. So I want to see that, right? And then what feature, where do you want to focus? So going forward, okay, I want to focus on branding. I want to focus on strategy. What does that even look like for you? Then secondly, what's the next thing you need to do is to ensure that you curate your best work. As I said, it's the perception. You're putting your best foot forward. You can't give me mediocre work and want me to go all out and like make it difficult for your recruiter that they have to fight battles on your behalf based on what they're seeing. So you ask yourself, is this my best work that I'm putting there? If it's not your best work, they don't put it. Does it show my skill sets? Does it show how good I am? Or does it show my growth? Does it show that, oh, I am someone who is open to learning, to doing all of these things? Or is it solving a problem? If it's not solving a problem, it's not creating a value, don't bother. Then also, the third thing you need to look at is, does it align with what my clients want or the place I'm applying to? Bearing in mind what I've looked at the job description, based on my own research about the company and what they typically push out. Like, all companies are going all out on all their social media platforms. So you can get a lot. Research is very important. If you cannot research, then there's literally nothing you can do with yourself. Research is extremely, extremely important. I think we're going to come into that when we're going into the interview phase, right? We'll speak about research a bit there. But yeah, if you can answer this question relating to what you want to create on your portfolio, then this would help you to streamline and have your best work. That is what you put on your portfolio. The third thing is to tell the story behind each project. It's one thing to just put pictures and visuals without giving me context. There has to be a project overview. So what was the goal? What was the challenge? What was the brief that came in from the client, or what was the ask? When I say brief, it's basically what did the client ask or what did they want, right? What was that? Or they wanted to maybe target the millennials, or they wanted to do this, right? And get XYZ results. Put it that there. Then show me your visuals. Show me what you had done. So that way I can relate what I'm seeing to what the ask was, right? Then what did you do specifically? So for example, if you're a copywriter or a strategist, what did you do specifically? Oh, I came up with the big idea for blah. We get to see it. It is clearly stated there. To be honest, I know some people would say they want to see the process. So maybe if you had, maybe for a designer, especially for a designer, how did you do your color coding? How did you get your range? What does the color mean? How did you ideate? But to be honest, I really don't care to see that in a portfolio. But I just put that there in case maybe you want to show that there's nothing wrong with that. But personally, I really don't care, because I feel like that also eats into your space. I feel like when you are scheduled for an interview, in our conversation, that will spring up. So to save you time, to save your space as well, I really don't care for it, but it's also nice for people to get to see it as well. There's nothing wrong with that. And then you put your final design or your final product, or what was the impact of, if you're a strategist, what was the impact of your big idea? What was the outcome? Did it get the achieved number that the clients wanted or not? You do that, right? And then you look at in terms of, okay, I need to show skills. I need to show growth. I need to show variety. I need to show that I can do other things, that I'm not just restricted to one thing only. You remember how I talked about, oh, as a designer, are you able to do digital? Are you able to do motion, UI, UX? Are you able to do branding, layout? As a writer, copywriter, copy samples, your campaign slogan, your blog post, tone of voice, variety. As a marketer or social media strategist, what does that look like for you? As a photographer or an artist, you're talking about your light, you're talking about composition, your editing style, because again, remember that you also evolve as a person. What you like maybe 3 years ago is different from what you like right now. So they need to see that growth, that, oh, yeah, I've moved on. So in the process of you updating your portfolio, I mean, some things, the weaker things you have to get out of there, and you have to put in the best of your work as usual, but that is there. The next thing we also need to note is your design has to be clean and user-friendly. It has to be consistent. Your color, if you're using white, let it be white. If your background is black, let it be black. If you're using pop, whatever the case may be, consistency is key. Your font size, your font style, your spacing is very important. It's something people do not clock, but it's something that we look out for when we're looking at the CVs or we're looking at portfolio. How easy is it to navigate? If you're using Canva, am I able to look at it on my phone and on my laptop? Or I'm only looking at it on my phone to give you a full view. But if I'm looking at it on my phone, I'll have to start dragging or something. Meaning, is it optimized properly? The pictures you're putting there, what's the quality like? Is it high definition? Is it a high quality image you're putting there? Or is it a screenshot that is not properly cleared out? Even if I zoom, it's looking blurry. I don't understand what I'm saying. And I'm just like, yeah, it doesn't make sense, right? Am I also including context? So it's not just picture. I'm also seeing a text, even if it's a one-line item or two-line item. And do I get to see what that is as well, right? That is there. I hope we're all following, please.
Yes, we are.
Yes, we are.
Okay. Okay, so moving on to what are the tips for, having a successful interview now? Because once you have scaled through, people get to see your CV, they get to see how good it is, your portfolio, it's wowing them. They're like, oh my God, I think I want to I want this person to come in, we want to have a conversation with this person. Now that you have been scheduled for an interview, how do you proceed? What do you need to do? The first thing is to research on the company. Know about the company. What are their values? Who are they? What do they do? It's not for you to walk into an interview and don't have an understanding of the company. It doesn't show like you are. There should be some sense of ownership. Like this is like, I'm part of this community. I'm part of this company. That is how your interviewer or your recruiter should feel, right? So learn about their mission. Know about the product and the services they offer. What is their culture like? Read about the recent news on the company. Oh, the company maybe did some funding, were able to secure this kind of funding, or they launched in this new technology into the company. Know about it. You're coming from, because you'll be asked questions. They expect that you have done your research and you should know this thing. Who are their competitors? Because when you're having conversation, you know how easy it is when you chip in something. They'll be like, I caught you, like, you know what you're saying. Like you did your research. I can tell that you did your research. It makes the work easier. It helps the connectivity. It helps the flow between you and the interviewing panel. It makes it easier for them, right? So that is also very essential. You also need to read the job description carefully. Note the key skill set that is required, or the job function, what you need to do. You need to know it. You also need to be aware of the trend and challenges relevant to the company. So for example, they might ask question, you come as a social media manager, I would expect you know what is trending. So when you're speaking to me, I want to hear about, oh, maybe perhaps they need to jump on this as an organization, or even if they have a brand that maybe it's very easy if someone's speaking to me and the person say, oh, but I don't know if, because again, you can't know all the brands that as a company they handle. But you can always propose that, oh, if you handle a brand who's in FMCG space, perhaps you guys can jump into a trend like XYZ because this is based on what the market analysis is looking like. Like it makes the interviewer feel like, yes, this person has done their research. They know about us. They feel like they are part of the company. Like they are with us in this. We're collaborating together. There's some form of ownership in what you're saying. So you need to know about the company. You need to know their value. You need to know their product and the service, what they offer, what they do. And then know in terms of the job description, what you are coming in to do now. How do you own that? That leads to the second step of understand your own story. How do you fit into the organization? Because when they ask you, oh, please tell me a bit about yourself, that a bit about yourself is to tell me what is your personal or your profile summary. I don't want to be here, oh, my name is Jennifer. I'm coming from a family of 4. I'm a Bayelsa girl. No, 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 none of that. It's basically your profile summary. Punchline, your elevator pitch, sell it to me. Then speak about your achievements, speak about the experience. Oh, you can go straight relating to this particular job that I applied for. So I'd worked in XYZ previously. My role in there, I did XYZ, blah, blah, blah. Like speak on that. So that is where you start talking about your achievements. You can use the method, the STAR method. STAR method is basically situation for the S, the T is task, the A is action, and R is results. STAR. So S is situation, T is task, A is action, R is results. So basically what you do there is as you're speaking, you're telling them, oh, this was what, the situation was like. I was tasked to do this, so I came up with this. Then you speak about your process, what you had to do, the people you had to speak to, how you're able to maybe brainstorm or ideate or do research, and you got this information. And then, they were the action steps, these were the things you put into place, those are the things you had to do, and this was the results. You are giving them everything. At some point, they might ask you a bit about where your strength lies, what your weakness is like. It now depends on how you're able to now connote those things. You talk about your strengths. It shows also that, okay, I'm aware of what I know how to do. I'm also aware of maybe areas that are gray areas, right? Areas that maybe I'm not so strong on. I'm aware of that. It shows I'm self-aware of this thing. However, I've done X, Y, Z to help myself, right? I'm taking, so for example, I could say maybe, for example, I'm someone who procrastinates or will wait till last minute to get things done. And I know how harmful that is. However, what I had to do was I don't wait for last minute. I put, reminders, calendars. I put task reminders on my calendar. I have a to-do list. So I have to tick off on all of these things. There's a timestamp. Oh, I have in all of these things, maybe I have like a 20 minutes break, or I have to maybe do a power nap or take a step to just, walk around, stress, and then come back. What do I that speaks on all of those things. So you show that you address what your weakness is, and then you praise where your strength lies as well. The third thing here is to practice common questions. You can't go in unprepared because there are some certain generic, I don't want to say generic, but there are some certain questions that would always come up. Oh, why should we employ you? Why do you want to work here? Why did you live where you were before? Where do you see yourself in 5 years? What is your strength? What is your weakness? Practice. You can stay in front of a mirror, in front of your phone, in front of a laptop, in front of anything. Just practice this question and be answering your question. Because again, remember that sometimes you might not have to do a physical interview, it might be a virtual interview, but I get to see your face. You need to keep eye contact with me. Your body language needs to, come through, your tone needs to come through, right? So I need to see all of this, and they are part of what I'll be evaluating. Are you also taking the vibe check apart from the skill check that will tick off? Are you confident in how you're speaking? I know that you're just looking down, you can't say anything. Those things speak. Your body language speaks for us already. But once you are practicing this with maybe a mirror or your phone or something, you start building confidence. You know when your filler words are coming in, what you need to change, what you need to put. You prepare this thing. And then something you also need to do is don't forget to ask questions. So before now, go and think of the kind of questions you'd want to ask them. You need to know, okay, what does performance look like for them? What's the success of this role in the next 6 months? What does success look like? In a way, you're asking them what you need to do, your core tasks, because your job description can have so many things. But once you ask them, what does success look like for this role in the next 6 months? That is your probationary period. That 6 months is your probationary period. So indirectly, they're going to tell you the things they would want you to focus on, like what their pain point is. That is the information you will get when you ask such a question. What does the team measure? How does the team measure performance? Oh, do they do this? Or what? Those are the insights you will need that will help you that, okay, once you get the job, you have your program of the first 3 months. This is what I need to achieve. Or what are my quick wins? What are the easy things I can easily get out of the way? And then the ones that, okay, will take a lot of planning, strategizing, you know what that is, right? And then you ask them questions around what are the challenges they face in that department? What do they need to do? And after that one, if you have any question they ask, if not, you move on. When they ask you questions around your remuneration, what your salary is, all of those things, give them a range, except they disclose what the pay band is for that role. It's always advisable to give a range. Now, when I say give a range, I'm not the one that will come and say don't go overboard or be unrealistic. Do your own research. You have Glassdoor. There are different apps that you can use to check to know, oh, for this particular role I'm applying for, with these years of experience or level of competency, what is the typical pay range for this band? You can research those to know what it is. So when they ask you the question, if they don't disclose what the pay range is, we tell them, okay, for this particular role, based on the competency required, the years of experience or I have, I'm asking for XYZ. And say it in net, not in gross. Your gross is inclusive of your tax, your pension, all of those things. Your conversation will be in net. Net is your take home. That's what that concerns us at the end of the day. You know what that is. Just say, oh, this is my net. And also disclose if it's something that's negotiable or not. You can always disclose that, oh, it's a negotiable amount. I believe that most companies will be fair to give you what it's as opposed to you saying, oh, I'm asking for 150K. Some HR people will give you the 150K, even if the role is like 500K, they'll give you the 150K that you asked for. It's you that asked for it. I gave you what you asked for, so you'll be fine. So typically, I always advise people to give a range, right? And also follow up after the interview in the next 24 hours. Just send a follow-up email of like, oh, thank you for having this conversation with me. I really enjoyed our session. I'm looking forward to your feedback. If you have any question, you can always shoot me an email and I'll be sure to respond. But thanks for sharing or making me have more insight into the company and what they do. You send that. If they have told you they'll get back to you in the next 2 weeks, you will keep track. In 2 weeks, if they have not gotten back to you, you send up a follow-up email. Now, oh, hi, hello, this. I'm just following up on this particular role. I know we had a conversation, and I also know that you have been quite busy, but this is just bringing it to your top of mind, blah, blah, blah. You just do that. If they don't, you follow up again until you get a response. And if they respond with a positive feedback, then, thumbs up, you know how to prepare for that. If it's not a positive feedback, you also ask questions in terms of, oh, how can I be better? What were the gray areas or what were you expecting from me that I did not deliver? And it's also nice to know that you know how to prepare yourself for your next interview or the next thing that you need to do. That helps. I don't know if you have any question. I think we've come to the end of this. Yeah. It was supposed to be a very quick one.
Yes, we want to make it quick so that we don't spend so much time. Thank you so much, Jennifer. I think that last point for me was the icing on the cake, that follow-up, because many times when we apply for jobs and we don't get a response, we just assume, oh, well, they've gotten someone that they want, and that's it. As a matter of fact, this morning, someone was telling me the same thing, and I asked him, have you followed up? And he said no. And I said, come on, you need to follow up. So thank you so much for that session and all those insights. Does anyone have any question? Are there any creatives here that have
Sorry, there's
questions?
something I wanted to ask because I know people might going to come and ask that, oh, but maybe for instance, I haven't worked in companies that have done all of these things, or maybe I'm still fresh out of school. I don't have this experience. I have not done that. I think for you to notice, you can always create yours. So for example, I could see a brand that I like, maybe for example, Fenty. I like makeup, so maybe Fenty. I see one of their campaigns. I've never worked for Fenty. I've never done social media bits or anything, but I could recreate something in a way that suits me or tell my own story, create my own portfolio. I could see a design that maybe a company did, maybe for example, Leadway Assurance did, right? And I could go and recreate mine based on my own interpretation of what I'm saying and put that in my portfolio. I could go on LinkedIn and have a conversation, do maybe a short clip around, maybe not LinkedIn, more like a TikTok, because that's where you get your numbers and your views and people that give you like feedback on the go. I can quickly just do a video speaking on, for example, when Hilda Bassi and Gino Tomato had that Guinness World Record campaign that they did. At some point, I was just like, Gino did not really put so much out there. I didn't really see much about Gino. It was more like a Hilda Bassi kind of thing. Like that's what I was seeing a lot. And I felt like this was an area that Gino should have, inserted themselves or done so much. That's just my thought. But it's something that someone could have taken up, had a conversation. People were ready to talk about this because it was trending at that point. And you put it in your portfolio. it's not like you necessarily had to do the work one-on-one, but it's something that you can actually take, recreate things yourself, because in a way, it also shows your creativity. It also shows that you have that form of innovation, like you're taking things to the next level. So yeah, I just wanted to put that out there.
Thank you very much. Thank you for that. All right, so this is the Q&A session for Jennifer. So as I said, if you are creative, you work in an agency, or you want to work in an agency, or you're a freelancer who's a creative, and you want to work, on your creative aspect, this is the session to ask all the questions. And I know that people have questions, and I hope that there's someone the courage to do that, because you're better off, quote unquote, looking stupid here than making the same mistake when you have an interview. So please, if you have questions, unmute your mic or raise your hand, and I'll just reach out to you.
Okay, I don't have the option to raise my hand. I don't know if I can ask my question.
Shoot, go for it.
Okay, good morning. Thank you for your time. I want to ask, if we do a project, let's say in the organization we currently work in, how can we put it in our portfolio that it will not show that it's from, we got the data and the information from our organization?
Jennifer, did you hear that?
Okay, so yes, but the question is, you need to give me more context there. And why I'm saying that is because what kind of job is that? Did you sign an NDA or something?
Like a data analyst, business intelligence analyst role. We work with data and we analyze it. So in a situation where you want to now present your work to the public or to recruiters, and can you go ahead, and how can you present it on your portfolio that it will not be, because you don't want to breach privacy policy?
Okay, so to answer that, right, typically what I always tell people is, if it's a client that is still ongoing or a contract that is still ongoing for your company, it's best not to put all of those information out there, except you know what the contract says, what there is on your data policy, information sharing, if the company has signed an NDA or their contract say they don't want the information out there. However, there is a shortcut on this, or a way to go around this. You can always create a dashboard that does not include the name of the company. Or you can put the sector, or where exactly, if it is the fintech space, if it is the FMCG, whatever the case may be, you just put that there and just put a rough dashboard where people can see of, oh, move from this to this to this to, that's just it. Not necessarily for you to come and start speaking of, oh, I did this for this particular company or that, until maybe it's been a while. You have to give it space as well, just to protect yourself and the company that you currently work for. Except maybe you're out of the organization, you're not glad there, then that's different. Then also, what does your contract say? There are some loopholes in your offer letters that people don't look at about, non-disclosure, sharing information. So you need to also look at that, insider information, stuff like that. So it's something people need to be mindful of.
Thank you very much. I also think that for what she's describing, it might lean towards corporate more than creative, because she's talking about data analysis. I mean, in the creative space, what role usually has data analysis? The
In the creative space, we have a data team. Yeah, we do. We have a data team. Yeah, because it's important. How do you speak to your client? You need data. You need those information. How do you make a informed decision, or how do you convince the client that they should go this way? Data will show you this information. So it is still there. That's why I said you do a dashboard or a summary that shows all of this information without actually putting the name of the organization. So you can just talk about the sector you're in, or what sector this information was drawn from. Or you can even do a rough, quick, friends and family, 100 people university, please fill this data survey for me and get your answer.
Okay. Do you perchance have what a an acceptable lookalike CV? Do you have a sample of what a CV for creative should look like?
Okay, maybe perhaps not necessarily a CV, but
Yeah,
I
or
can
portfolio.
show maybe like a portfolio.
Yes.
I'm back to, can you see my screen? Peace and thank you.
Yes, you can. Yes, we can.
Okay. So this is pretty much what a designer or a creative CV is. I mean, the first page would be about themselves, like, their picture, they'll put their pictures and stuff like that. Now, for this picture, I think it's something we also need to reiterate that people need to be careful the kind of picture they use in their creatives. It has to look professional. It's excuse me, it's optional to put a picture if you want to or if you don't want to, right? But again, it's also nice to put so that we can actually put a name to a face or just make it more human-centric that we're seeing. But your pictures also matters. Sometimes I've seen people that would post maybe like it's selfie and it's literally so close to their face, and I'm wondering why, right? There are different and know your angles, know what you're doing, know what works for you and how best. Like look good, look the parts, but also be able to still maintain some form of or some level of professionalism. So this is a creative CV that first speaks about like, the design. So first off, they were showing like a newsletter design. I'm going to just skim through real quick so you can see this, right? This is just showing me their creatives. This is the social media design what we're going to next. You can see the context this person is giving me. This is the social media design that was done. Leadway, X-rays. This is the person's best work. That's what I'm seeing. Oh, but I know that this is the social media stuff. Okay, now the person is speaking on campaign. You can see versatility. I've seen their core designs. I've seen social media design. You can see the brief. What was the brief from this particular brand? What was the inside? What was the campaign visual direction? The colors. And then what did the person do? This is the creatives that I get to see. Right? They're showing you the different options or what they did. Now, you can see how they made use of an hyperlink. If I click on this, it will take me to this. So I don't have to necessarily see so much here. But this person has a hyperlink this particular creative for me to go see. So that way, by the time I click on it, I have access as a viewer on the drive. So I don't have to edit, I don't have to touch or do anything, but I can actually view what this person has done on the drive. So it's not too much, it's not looking too much. I can see the brief, the client's brief there, what the person did. The person is showing me all angles. This was their questions. I get to see different directions here. You can see here now, this person is also hyperlinking to show me their motions, what they did, motion graphics. So I'm not seeing too much. I'm not seeing video. I can easily go to the drive. And in that drive, it has like their top 5, top 6 motion properly labeled and properly put in different folders, because the first one we had seen was a creative that had a video. The second one here was motion. So there'll be like a creative folder. There'll be like a motion. It depends on when I click and what I'm going to look out for. This was this person's design with leadway assurance. What was the ask? This was what? Create awareness for students to save 1,000 naira monthly to protect them from stopping their education due to unforeseen circumstances. Now, what was the direction? It's showing like a walkway. Keep moving when life halts. Secure education. Pursue to 1,000. This was the person's own direction of what they did for their lamp post. All of these things, they're literally showing you their work. So this is just giving you insights for they are work for different brands. So you can see that they're also showing you that, oh, they are done a bit for different sectors and how that should look like. So you have that there. And then the last bit will just be like the whole thank you part, but also has their phone number, their email, their whatever social media platforms you could reach them on. It is clearly stated there.
Right. Thank you. Love that. Love that. Love that. Love that. Love that. Is there a possibility that we get that deck, that sample deck, for some of us who may
I
want to
think
reflect on it? Okay.
perhaps.
All
But I
right.
think
So
I can see a question in the chat box. Thank you so much, Jennifer. Can you emphasize more details about yourself question during the interview? Oh, okay. Is that all? Okay, I think
yes, so
someone already answered
that's all.
that. So yeah, they tell me about yourself. Is basically your profile summary or your professional summary. That's what they want to hear. So when I say tell me about yourself, what I'm looking out to hear is who you are, what's your direction, or what are you good at, what's your skill set on, what is the value you're bringing, because always your recruiter or your interviewer wants to hear about value, right? Uh, yeah, they want to hear about value. They want to know what you're able to bring on board, or what why they're bringing you on board to the team. What are you going to do? So I want to talk about your experience. I want to talk about like, oh, what your achievement is. So you're going to first start off with like, what is in your profile summary? So, oh, I'm a multidisciplinary person in design with 4 years of experience in design. I've done a bit of brand identity, motion, UI, UX. I'm versatile in the use of maybe Zoho Recruits, different HR software. I make use of Sigma. I make use of whatever the case may be. I'll mention that. Oh, I'm also looking at to work in an agency that is built on innovation, collaboration. I've chipped in their core values into that conversation. So in that whole, because again, remember that when I talked about your profile summary, it's basically like 3, 4, or 5 lines at most, or 5 sentences rather at most, that speaks about all of these things. So it's basically telling me your elevator pitch about yourself. So afterwards, you can now go into your experience relating to the job role that you have applied for to save time. So if I applied for maybe a social media bit, after talking about those first 3 lines that is in my profile summary, then I go into, okay, so I work in XYZ organization. My work here was to do, social media management. And this includes, I talk about what I'm doing now. In my role, there's a particular time I had to do XYZ. There were issues there. These were the problems. These were the things I had to do. And this was the outcome. So at the end of the day, I was able to achieve this based on this. I work with XYZ team members. I'm also letting them know, oh, if I report to somebody, that conversation is there. If I have people working within my team or people that I manage, that conversation is there, because it is important. If you're going for a leadership role, they need to be able to test to say that, oh, this person has been able to manage a team. How many people is this person managing? That comes into play, right? So you're talking about all of these things, talking about deadlines, timelines. If there were issues, they want to hear it. What was your approach to, solving that problem? They also want to hear that as well. And then you wrap up, because most times, and to be very honest, in interviews, it's based off on what you say that we ask you questions. It's what you say that we used to ask. That's why I also mentioned, remember when I talked about how people always create loopholes for themselves, especially when they talk about how they're able to save the company XYZ money that led to XYZ return 30%, and they cannot defend that conversation. It's always a loophole for people, but most times we feed off of what you say. That's where we ask you questions. So you need to be able to know what you're saying, how to phrase it properly, how to say it, and be able to defend it. If they ask you any question, you're able to answer that.
Right. Thank you. Okay, I hope you got the answer you wanted for that. Another question says, my question is this: for us that are fresh out of school, I want to work in corporate space, not as a creative, but as a corporate, well, like a corporate role that does not exactly correspond to what we studied in university. How do we go about it? For example, I studied veterinary medicine in the university. I want to work in a bank or an HR role or any corporate role. How do we go about it? Writing a befitting CV, or perhaps I have to take some short courses to level up or align myself with the role. I'm sure you probably
I
get
think
this
you have
every now and
answered that
then.
already in a way. You have answered
Right.
yourself, because your first thing is, if you want to move from, you're fresh out of school, you haven't really worked in a proper 9 to 5 in a corporate setting. And what you studied in school is different from the field or the sector you want to go into or what you want to do. Your first bet is to also equip yourself. So go do some short courses,
Yeah.
right? There are some Google courses that you can do, whether be it on HubSpot or not. There's some short courses that you can do to, gain more insight. And if you're really, really intentional about this, then your next best will be to do some form of internship. You can't just go head on into a particular role that you're not conversant with. So you need to
Great.
learn. Apart from the short
Great.
courses you have taken, look for internship or intern opportunities that are aligned to that particular role, and insert yourself. You could do a 3 months, a 6 months. Most internship will pay you at least some stipend or something, but at least put yourself there. That would then better prepare you for a bigger opportunity and role, because I can say that, oh, I have done this, I have done that. Because to be very honest, right? I'll be very honest with everyone. Talent is hard to get. We keep on doing interviews back to, but there are a lot of people that are, looking for job opportunities. It is there. However, do they have what the company need? It's another conversation. So how do you better position yourself I don't have the experience. I've never worked in this sector or in this space, but I have learned, theoretically. Now, how do I apply this? I look for internship opportunity and put myself there and learn. In that 6 months, by the time I'm not applying for a full-time job opportunity or roles, I'm able to say, oh, I did this, I did that. In that span of 6 months, the company is even inclined to actually bring you on board because you already have some level of skill sets through your internship. As opposed to saying you don't have any experience, no skill sets, no knowledge, and you want to go head on as a full-time. It's just maybe a few companies that would, if they have the opportunity to train, it's only a few that would be like, okay, you know what, yes, let's bring this person on. We have the ample time and manpower to train you in that. But again, are you also teachable? Is another. Do you come through as someone who is open to learning? What do you feed the knowledge bank with? What kind of shows do you watch? What kind of books do you read? What do you consume? Are you doing your research in that particular sector? If it's not a creative space, then proper 9 to 5. So, for example, a banking space, what is happening in the banking sector? What is happening in the financial sector? What does this new tax reform law mean or policy mean for companies? How are you able to insert yourself in that conversation? That even when you're having conversation with this person, they'll be like, hey, this person studied medicine, but this person is knowledgeable in terms of what's going on in the financial sector. Okay, I think I want to pay attention to this person. That's just what happens.
Thank you. Okay, so we'll take one more question and then go straight to Miriam's session because of time. So let's see. Miriam can answer the second one, the third one from Sean. But this one says, good morning. Entry level roles. Escaping the ATS should make one a CV with Canva or what? Should one make a CV with Canva or words? Sometimes we apply and don't get feedback despite fitting to requirements.
Is your CV or your application ATS proof?
Yeah.
Now, remember I talked about how your ATS software cannot read your design. It doesn't understand what they're saying. Are you having tables, text box, and all of those things? The system is not designed to or programmed to understand those things. So if the system is seeing all of this, it's just like, oh, this thing is not working, and it moves your CV to a no pile. So you need to ensure that your CV, what you're doing is ATS proof. I had shared, the ones that you typically have, the reverse chronological order, which speaks on your experience, which speaks on your skills, which shows the history of your experience as well. Oh, you have moved from this to this, your growth, your buzzword. Does your CV have those buzzwords that are required? If you're coming in for a campaign manager role, we're going to be checking out for the system will be checking out for campaigns you have managed. Have you done budget? How much have you handled as well? If you're coming in for social media, it's be checking out for, growth, report, data analysis, all of those things. If you're coming in for content writing or you're coming in for maybe HR space, it will be checking out what do you know. There are buzzwords you need to put in your CV. If it doesn't have that, the system will move on because it is structured in a way that it says, oh, look out for this. I'm about to say SEO word. Sorry, I'm so creative and agency inclined. Jeez. But SEOs are basically actual words that is looking out for, like a buzzword. You know how sometimes people will say in their CV, I am highly motivated, I am hardworking, I work under pressure. Lori Raw, you lie. That's what that it doesn't work. So the same way you have those buzzwords is how the ATS software application also have the buzzword it looks out for. If your CV does not have those information, it will skim through because it's been set to pick out certain things, certain features. Your years of experience is there. There are certain key based off on the job description. If you're not structuring your JD or your core function to include those things highlighted in the job description, it's a problem. It will flag it as a no. That's why I always say that your CV should be updated and structured to whatever company and organization you're applying to. Whatever role you're applying to, you will structure CV in that light. Your first 3, 4, 5 functions should be those key things that they would require you to do in that new position you're applying for. That's what you're speaking about. You structure it in that manner. You can make use of ChatGPT to help you restructure it or make it in a way that would be more presentable because it's just, again, depends on how you're giving it prompts. It is very useful. People just don't know how to utilize it or are solely dependent on ChatGPT to structure something and copy and paste. Because I've seen someone that obviously ask a ChatGPT a question. I know how ChatGPT will give you space of maybe put the company's name here, put this one, and the person just did copy and paste. And me as a recruiter, I'm seeing the space of put the company name, and I'm like, ChatGPT to the rescue. Wow, attention to detail, very key. But yeah.
That's it. Thank you so much, Jennifer. Thank you so very much. Okay, so we'll take the next questions in Miriam's session. All right, Miriam, let's, without further ado, if
Thank
you
you,
can,
everyone.
are you able to share your slides?
Hi, good morning, everyone. Yes, I should be able to. Thank you so much, Jennifer. I really enjoyed your session.
So while Miriam is trying to share her slide, I'm going to just read her profile very quickly. So Miriam Adegoroye is recruitment manager at Gigi Nigeria, where she leads large-scale hiring and process improvement for one of Africa's leading e-commerce platforms. She previously led global executive recruitment and enhanced hiring processes at Core Technologies, formerly AppZone Group. At Jobberman Nigeria, she co-developed strategies under the Young Africa Works Mastercard Foundation project, empowering youth with training and access to meaningful jobs. Earlier at Wave, Miriam built the recruitment team from the ground up, managed vacancies across multiple states, and launched the organization's first recruitment portal. She's passionate about building high-performing teams and creating opportunities for young Africans to thrive in the world of work. Hello, Miriam.
Hi, thank you so much for that. Now you're making me nervous. Everybody has a very high expectation of me. I'm always very shy when people talk about my bio. So guys, apologies for the delay with sharing my slide. I will do that shortly.
I think I can do that if you don't mind.
I'm there.
Okay.
Yeah. Can you see my screen now?
Yes, I can.
Okay. All right. I'm just trying to get the presenter's view. Sorry, guys. I can't see myself. Karen, maybe you should please help me. Thank you.
Okay, I can do that right away. Please, I hope we're taking notes. I hope we are preparing our questions. See your slides.
So I would just sort of echo everything Jennifer had said, but this time around, I would just tailor it a bit to a generalist. So the entire corporate world, what recruiters are looking for, right? So your CV is your key, is your master key. Your CV is that master key that would open up doors for you, especially if you don't have the network. You don't have one uncle or one auntie somewhere that would help you put your CV in the face of a recruiter. So you are the one in charge of your life. Do you understand? So your CV is like your access card. When you go to a party and the bouncers are at the door, they're not letting you in, and then you show them an access. So today, I want you to think about your CV as that access that would help you, open up that opportunity for you and help you actualize your dream. What is that big opportunity you're looking for? It is possible. Getting a job at a multinational, at the biggest places in the world is possible, right? And your CV can help you get there. Next slide, please.
Okay.
So the big question is, what do recruiters want? What do recruiters want? Recruiters are very busy people. See, guys, I'll be honest with you. Sometimes it's not easy for me to be human, right? It's not easy for me to say, oh, I love you. I want to help you. I want to help you get a job. No, because I have KPIs, turnaround time. As a recruiter, My company is saying there are 100 vacancies. Miriam, why have you not filled 100? Miriam, there's 15 days turnaround time. This role should have been filled yesterday. So as a recruiter, I don't want to waste time. I am looking for the talents that are serious. I'm not looking for somebody that is talented and will be late for my interview. I'm not looking for someone that is talented and you're not even prepared. Like there was an interview recently, fantastic profile. We invited this lady to this very nice. We held the interview at the Capital Club. It's a very exclusive, venue. There was coffee and everything. We wanted to give them that luxurious experience. And this candidate came in, she was chewing gum. Right. So I'm telling you that even when your CV is wonderful, right? I am I have a lot of vacancies. Aside from maybe my main job, I probably do consulting on the side because as recruiters, if you're looking to become a recruiter, I would say welcome because there are opportunities out there for recruiters as well. It's almost like you have a skill set that can make you money even outside of your 9 to 5, right? So getting the foot in the door, recruiters were looking for the most talented people. So ask yourself, of all the people that apply for this job, do I stand out? What is special about me? Miriam is going to look at over 1,000 CVs, right? And I need to hire the best people that will not stress me. So be asking yourself as you're applying, am I the most qualified candidate for this job? Is there something that sets me apart? Is there a particular skill set that I have that would be like that? This recruiter would be like, I need to have this person on my team. We need to have a conversation with this person, right? So what do recruiters want? We want candidates that are talented, that are visible, right? You are so talented, but your LinkedIn profile is empty. You don't have a professional photo. In fact, you're working at organizations that don't have logos. That thing really, really annoys me. I'm sorry to say, guys. So I look at your profile. I look at your CV. Oh, the CV is so amazing, but I check your LinkedIn. What is on the CV is not telling me what was on your LinkedIn. I'm like, oh my God, this person is probably lying. They're probably not sincere. And then guess what, guys? I don't want to waste time. So let me tell you what we do, recruiters. What do recruiters want? I want to impress the hiring manager. Recruiters are like consultants within a company, right? We want to look good. I'll be honest with you, we are humans. I want to fill the roles quickly and I want to look good as well in front of my manager. So I want the person that will interview my candidates to say, Miriam, you did a fantastic job. Oh, this profile is amazing. Oh, I checked the LinkedIn. Everything looks nice. Visibility, talent, seriousness, the right attitude to work. All of these are what recruiters are looking for. And we want to do it in the shortest possible time. I'll be honest with you. For some specific specialized roles, we don't really use the ATS. The role is mass. I want to hire graduate trainees. I want to hire a lot of customer service people. I want to hire a lot of salespeople. I would use the ATS and I will ask questions. So there will be screening questions that will help me filter people. As recruiters, we're always trying to filter off. So make sure that you are giving us the right information. Like my colleague said, you're living in Lagos, you're living in Abuja, but the job is in Lagos, you applied, but in the location, you still kept Abuja. Please help the recruiters save time. Because we have KPIs. I want to look good. I also want to update my CV and say, I filled my vacancy in 2 days, So help the recruiters live, make it easier for us. Do you understand? So make it easy for us to want to put you in front of the hiring managers. We are not the hiring managers, I'll be honest. We are the people that control the process, but the people that make the final decisions are not the recruiters. They are the heads of department, they are the CEOs and all of that. So we all have to collaborate and help each other, right? You're not doing any recruiter a favor. We're also not doing you any favors. It's like a marriage. Everybody wins. If you're a great candidate, I'm so lucky to have you. If you're a fantastic candidate, I'm blessed to have you, right? You make my life amazing, right? So it's a two-way thing. We win, you win. Kelvin, please, the next slide. Some things to know. Just some random fun facts for you to know. We always have too many applicants to review for sorry, I'm echoing.
Let me check that. What's going on here?
Okay.
Are you fine?
Yes. At my current place of work, we always do a report at the end of the quarter to say, where are we hiring from? For graduate trainee roles, for customer service roles, sales roles, we use job boards. So that means ATS comes in. But for highly specialized roles, we do a lot of headhunting. So that's why I said your LinkedIn has to be good. People need to know about you because employee referral is a big thing as well. You have to have the right people in your network. You have to know people. Your network is powerful, guys. You want to get a job. It's not just by applying for a job online that will get you the job. You have to diversify that strategy. For example, okay, my goal is to get a job. There are so many ways to go about it. I'm going to apply via job boards. I'm going to be in the community. I'm going to know an HR person. So you have to have like different ideas of how you're going to get the job. Because as recruiters, we also use various ways to find people, right? So there are times where we have too many applications and we are cranky. I'm like, oh my God, just one role. I got over 100 CVs. I don't have a lot of time. So I'm trying to filter people off. We don't have a lot of time. Our attention span is very short. So yes, there's so many things that we're looking out for. And 89% of recruiters hire somebody via LinkedIn for specialized roles. So your LinkedIn has to be great. You have to have a professional photo on there. You need to have all the keywords and all of that. I always tell people let me give you the cheat code to updating your LinkedIn profile. You think like a recruiter, right? And you find somebody that is living your dream. Go to your LinkedIn, find somebody that is living your dream and try to mirror what they have. I didn't say you should copy them, but you can try to mirror what they have, right? The keywords, the kind of trainings they've taken. That is a cheat code to making your LinkedIn stand out. Copy the right things with your data. You use it wisely. So let's move on to the next slide, please. All right. So as a corporate recruiter, I don't like colors. I don't like too much stories. I don't like anything that is unnecessarily. There's pictures there. There's some people won't add their pictures on the CV. Please don't do that. Keep it simple. Keep it clear. Easy to read. Don't stress anybody. I'm going to give you, there's a CV template at the bottom of my presentation. So I'm going to show you guys. Make it relevant. Your CV has to be relevant. It has to be consistent. The formatting has to be clean. Justify it. Not that one part looks like small letter. Make it neat, appealing, but simple. In terms of your achievements, guys, on every job that you've done, you need to see before writing your CV, ask yourself a question. Am I valuable? I made a mistake one time. When I got my job, so when I worked at Jobberman, I didn't stay so long. And then I transitioned and went because I wanted to work in a tech company. You know how there was this buzz around, oh, I want to work with fintech. I want to work with a tech company. So I was like, that's the next thing, Mary. I'm going to work in a tech company. So I got this job via a mentor. I got the job via a mentor. I was not even looking for a job. I found the mentor from a networking event. And I would say that don't keep quiet. If you need something, please speak up. Please speak up. If you need anything, speak up. You never know who is looking. You never know who can help you on your WhatsApp status, on your Instagram status. So the way I got this job, let me just go back and tell you about the mistake that I made. I finally got the job. I wasn't looking for a job. I was looking for mentorship. See, guys, I was looking for mentorship. I was not looking for a job. Seek value. Seek knowledge. Seek improvement. Wherever you are right now, you're not I don't know if you are maxing your 24 hours. So you have 24 hours in the day. What are you using with that 24 hours? You need to be at the highest level of excellence that you can be as a person, right? So that the recruiters will have no doubts that you're the best candidate for the job. I'll get to my story. So I was looking for a mentor because I knew that tech recruitment was like the next big thing in Nigeria. And I wanted to be in that space. I'd already done consulting. I'd worked with job bombers. So I was like, okay, what's next? I'm always looking for what's next. So when I eventually got the job, I now heard in the company that Meta, Facebook poaches people from that company. So I was like, wow, that is the next place. I'm going to go to Meta. I forgot I was supposed to be excellent at my job. I forgot I was supposed to be amazing at my job for Meta to even employ me. I was more focused on, oh, I look good. My CV looks good. But I forgot that I needed to even perform at my job. A lot of us are in a hurry to get a job, but we are not even excellent at where we are. That is the secret. That is the secret to getting a job. Where you are right now, are you maxing? Are you like the best? Are you the best thing after sliced bread? So I corrected that mistake. I stopped being hungry to change my job to go to Meta. I was like, okay, Miriam, let's achieve something here. And it is what you achieve at your current place of work that you can even put on your CV, guys. If you don't have an amazing achievement, you will not even be confident in the interview. Your CVs are not enough. Your CVs are just the access. But the person that you are is what will get you the job, is what will make you pass. See, sometimes you will even pass the interview. They will hire you. They will fire you after 3 months because you're not who you claim to have been, or you don't grow. So I told you I made a mistake. I got a job. I was eager to leave because I heard that Meta, Facebook hires from that company. I forgot to be excellent. So I went back to being excellent and then I eventually changed my job. So evidence, results, achievements, they are important. Your CV is not enough. Who you are, your value to put on that CV is also key. Your CV and your LinkedIn profile must be aligned. What you have on your CV cannot be different from what you have on your LinkedIn because sometimes we love integrity. We want to hire people of integrity. And so we don't want to believe that you're lying. So even if you're not lying, but your LinkedIn doesn't look updated or what you have on your LinkedIn, different from what you have on your CV, it just looks weird. Now, as recruiters, we also do research, right? For every candidate I'm sending to my hiring team, I'm sending their LinkedIn profile. I'm writing like an executive summary of why this candidate is the best candidate for the job. And so your LinkedIn profile is almost like your trace, is like a proof of this person is real, this person looks good, they look well put together, let's hire them or let's invite them for an interview. Keywords, tailoring and specifics. So for example, when you're applying for a job, I'll give you an example. I was trying to hire for one of the big fours, and one of the things we were interested in was Basel 2. We're looking for people that had experience with Basel 2. We're looking for people that had done IFRS 9. Now, when I was doing my keyword headhunting on LinkedIn, if you did not have those two things, I would not slide into your DM. I would not slide into your DM, right? There were specific things I was looking for because there are some roles that are very specialized. If I didn't see those things in your CV, I would not hire you. How did I get my job at Gigi, right? I got my job at Gigi because when I worked at Wave, I'd done mass hiring. I'd done mass hiring engagements. And what Gigi was looking for at the time was somebody that could handle mass hiring. If I did not have mass hiring on my LinkedIn, they would not have come to me. Are we paying attention, guys? Are we paying attention? So sometimes you need to put those keywords on your headline or on your CV or things like that, right? So that the right opportunities come to you. See, we don't tell people, but we don't always get all the opportunities. I've attended, and this year I was asked to fly all the way to Abuja, Mina, all expense paid, right? for a job interview, but I didn't get it. But I still got those opportunities. So if your LinkedIn profile is updated, you look good, the headline looks good, everything looks fine, you will at least get called. Your LinkedIn and your CV are the master key for the access. Doesn't mean you will get the job, because interviewing is different. Luck sometimes, and there are other great candidates as well. So you would not always win. But where you are, make the best of the opportunities you currently have. Now, the last thing I would say is when you're applying for a job, please don't send your CV as a Word document. Send it as a PDF. Sometimes you can be lucky, you send it as a Word document, it comes out nice. But most times, the formatting in your Word document changes. But it's better to send your CV as a PDF because it looks well put together. All the justification, all the alignments would not change. Sometimes when I see people send their CV with Word documents, I feel like they're not serious. And that's just me. I might be wrong. All right, so Kelvin, let's move on to the next slide. Thank you. I already spoke about this. Who to become to be valuable in the job market. This is really deep, guys. This is really deep. It was what I was just trying to emphasize before, to say, for example, you are an executive assistant, right? What makes you special as an executive assistant? And you're applying for a job and you want to show the recruiter that you are able to do more than just the regular people. I want you to have that mindset of, I need to be set apart from the crowd. Like, what is about Miriam as a recruiter that sets me apart from other recruiters? I'll tell you. I've been so lucky that I have used so many platforms. I use Indeed. I use Sales Navigator. I use LinkedIn Recruiter Lite. I use Upwork. So one of the things that sets me apart is I have used so many platforms as a recruiter that if they hire me into a company, there's probably not a platform I've not used before. That sets me apart. So you need to find things that sets you apart, that makes you amazing. One of the ways to do that is you can review different job descriptions online, global companies, and see what they're looking for. You may not have what they're looking for, but you can start to learn it. You can learn it. It's never too late to start learning something, right? Another would be internship, freelancing, working for free. If you're trying to break into a particular industry or a particular role, working for free has worked for me so many times. Working for free works for me, right? If you can afford it. Internships work for me as well. I would say that seek knowledge first and then money will come later. Don't be worried. I tell people these things sometimes. I'm not trying to throw shades at some type of jobs, but I'll give you an example. I was trying to mentor someone, right? She does product designing, UI UX product designing, but she got a job as a teller at a bank because she needed money. Now, I'm not saying you should not take certain jobs, but ask yourself, the job I'm currently taking, does it have a future? The career path I have right now, does it have a future? In the next 2-3 years, how much will my salary increase in this industry? So please, let's not take the easy way out. Let's do the difficult things, because sometimes the difficult things will eventually give you long-lasting results. So who to become to be valuable in the job market is chase value, do the difficult things. Don't choose the easy way out. Don't choose the easy way out. Ask yourself the very difficult question. If you were a recruiter, would you choose yourself? Be honest. Be honest. Yeah. Next slide, please. Yes, what makes a strong professional summary? My colleague already spoke about this. Right now, different people are at different stages in their career. Before, when I was still desperate, I will go as far in my professional summary to put the name of the company that I am applying to in the professional summary, because I want to give the recruiter confidence that this person is really interested in working in our company. So I wrote something down. I said, to keep it brief, who are you? Who are you? For your professional summary, you ask yourself this question: who am I? Who am I? Am I a young graduate? Am I a data analyst? Am I a recruiter? Qualify yourself. You can ask your friends and your family that, okay, if you're to describe Miriam in a simple term, how would you describe Miriam? One of the ways I describe myself on my CV is what my then CEO used to call me. She'll say, Miriam is tenacious. So on my CV, I wrote tenacious recruiter. You understand? Like, I can qualify myself as something based on the feedback I've gotten. So let your CV be real. Don't just be generalizing. I am passionate, I'm this, I'm that. Ask people questions. Do a quick survey around you. Let people tell you what they perceive you as. And if it's bad, if it's the way they perceive you is bad, you can change, right? So who are you? Qualify your experience to say, this is who I am. You can even say, I am trying to be this person, right? So if you don't have the experience, you're saying, I am a aspiring, for the lack of a better word, data analyst, and I've already begun to learn Power BI, Excel, and all of that. What sets you apart? Even on your professional summary, you can start to already tell us things that sets you apart. It could be, I have industry experience, or I have this particular technical skill, and then they also want to see you grow. For example, you're a fresh graduate. Were you top of class in your bachelor's degree? Were you did you add value at university? Whatever value you add during your university time is a good thing to put on your professional summary. So basically, what makes a professional summary strong? Who you are. Qualify your experience, your years of experience, what sets you apart, and how have you grown? See, the worst thing you can do is not check yourself, not do like an evaluation to say, where was I last year? Where am I right now? What has changed? What have I learned? What have I achieved? All of that helps you. So self-awareness is very key for you to be exceptional. Self-awareness is very important as an individual, as a professional. Be honest with yourself. I tell my cousin all the time, because she's always complaining about her job. She's always complaining about, different things. And I'll be like, okay, be honest with yourself. What are your achievements on this job? Like, what have you really achieved? If they were to say there's no money in this company right now, and they wanted to fire people, will you be among the people that they will say, we cannot let these people go? Or you're the first people they will say, that person is disposable. Try not to make yourself disposable. So always chase excellence. Kevin, let's move on to the next slide. So I wanted to show you a CV template that is good, right? So some people say you should use Calibre or that other one, Arial. I'm using a very weird CV font, a very weird font type, and it still works. Content is more important. Content is more important. Who you are is more important. Presentation is important, right? So your name, that's the first thing people see on your CV, right? Make it bold, make it simple. I'm of the opinion of using 2 names. I'm not of the opinion of using 3 names, but please, it won't matter if you are, for example, see, there are roles that are very difficult to hire for. Like I said, we're trying to hire a management consultant. We're looking for IFRS 9 and Basel 2 and 3. And there are only a handful of people in Nigeria that have those skills. So if your CV is ugly, we will still look for you. Can you see, guys? So we are very picky with CVs when the role is not hard to fill. Sometimes you're so good at your job, you're so amazing that we will work on the CV for you. Okay? We will work on your CV for you because we cannot help ourselves. We need you on the job. Like, we're trying to hire a CTO all the way from India, and this person's CV is bad, but we know he's good. I'll quickly patch the CV up so I can present it to my manager. Do you guys see that? So if you are doing things that are difficult, and you are the only few people in your industry that has that skill set, your CV won't even matter.
Okay.
But let's talk about for entry level guys. So your name, qualify yourself. So the second part of my CV is where I qualified myself and said, oh, I'm a senior recruitment strategist. I am a talent acquisition manager. And then because me personally, right, I'm looking for like international opportunities. I put in Nigeria because I'm like, okay, I'm willing to relocate. I'm actually very flexible. I can relocate. I can do whatnot. So that's why I kept Nigeria. But Jennifer is very correct when she said you can put Lagos or you can put Abuja so that we don't sort of eliminate you based on your specific home address, right? And then we have your email address. Some people have kissmefornigeria@gmail.com. Oh my goodness. Please, guys, don't do that. And then so your LinkedIn profile as well, hyperlinked, your portfolio hyperlinked beside your LinkedIn profile. So for developers, you can have your GitHub, and all of that. So or any other thing you want us to see, right? For example, if you have a website, you can put your website beside your LinkedIn profile as well. Just make it clean, make it nice, make it easy. Summary, like I said, professional summary comes next. Qualify your experience, years of experience, what sets you apart, how have you grown in your career? Make it interesting. Sometimes to wow the recruiter, you will end the sentence saying, I'm looking to grow in Coca-Cola HBC. They'll be like, wow, this guy really tailored the CV just for us. It's serious. Then you go on to skills, technical skills. What are the skill sets you have? So this is your perfect opportunity to align the job description with your CV word for word so that the ATS will not miss out on you. So if they're looking for specific things, put it there in the skills. What tools have you used? What tools have you used before? So that as the recruiter is looking at it, they're like, okay, this person would enter this organization and they'll be quick to sort of, start working because all of the tools that they are using is what they've used before. That's what we currently use. So there's an alignment. So we're always looking for alignment, right? One of the tricks I'd also like to mention to you is hyperlink the companies where you've worked, right? So that it's easy for the recruiter to find out about your company. So if I'm hiring for a technology company, for example, if I'm hiring for InterSwitch, I would most likely want to hire people that have worked in companies similar to InterSwitch, like Flutterwave, Nibs, GT Bank, Access Bank. So I'll be looking for people like that. So for example, if your company is not known, right, but you've already hyperlinked the website of your company, I'll just click on it. You're making my life easy. You're making it easy for me to understand why you're good for the job, right? So that's one thing you want to do as well. Lagos, Nigeria. So if you want to, for example, a lot of us that were looking for global opportunities on your CV, maybe you've done an internship somewhere with a foreign company, you're showing them that, okay, I've worked in Canada before, I've worked in the UK before, even if it's just an internship, right? So that people are like, okay, this person can cope with a different time zone, all of that information. My colleague already spoke a lot about achievement-based CV. So I don't want to mention that again. Put in achievements. So on your CV, don't put stories. Stories are not relevant. Your achievements are more relevant. What you did, the STAR methodology, as she said, what was the situation? What was the task? What did you do exactly? And what was the result, right? So let's not make our CV too wordy. Keep it brief. Sometimes unavoidably, you have too many achievements. So if it is mostly achievements on there, please leave it. Don't be repetitive. Keep it, like I said, simple, classy, straight to the point. Not too many colors. The reason you're seeing blue on my CV is because they are hyperlinked, not because I like colors. It could all be black, it's black. And then your education is important. Sometimes if you have like a side project that is relevant to the role, maybe you founded a business before, you can include that. But this is the basic. Your name, you qualify yourself. You don't have to if you're entry level, but you can. Keep everything clean, keep it simple. Your technical skills, the skills you have, that is the perfect time for you to align with the ATS so they don't eliminate you. Be patient with yourself. Sometimes job applications are very annoying because they can be so long. So just remember that if the job is important to you, you take your time to apply. So take your time and do all the things you need to do to have a good application. Please, let's move on, Kelvin. Like I said, you need to be able to communicate your achievement. Please move on to the next slide, please. For you to be able to communicate your achievements, let me tell you what I did recently. In my company, I write reports every quarter about the achievement of my team. I put all of those achievements, all of those reports, I put it on ChatGPT. I said, ChatGPT, all this report I shared with you extracts my achievements for me. So those are one of the creative ways that I personally have updated my CV with my achievements. You cannot put achievement on your CV if you're not an achiever. So please remember to be an achievement-based oriented person. Your last appraisal from your manager, all of that information, all those amazing things they said you did. Remember, so for you to update your CV, you need somebody that is not just you. You need to be in a room, a virtual room with somebody, and you're just like recounting this year. What were the highs? Where were the lows? What were those things that my boss was like, you were amazing? Did you make money for the business? Were you able to introduce a new client? Were you able to do something difficult? You can sit in front of your friend or your partner, whoever your accountability partner, just have a conversation, especially if you're not the kind of person that tracks. You'll be very surprised that by the time you do this exercise, you'll be like, wow, so I've been amazing. And I didn't know. That's the worst part when I help people work on their CV. They don't even know how amazing they are. A lot of you don't know who you are because you've not sat down to say, okay, this is my reflection time. I was just thinking about my colleague Kelvin. And I thought to myself this morning that, oh, Kelvin has a lot of energy and he's audacious. Kelvin is not afraid to talk to anybody and say, okay, we want to try this thing out. I want to go and meet that CEO and invite him for this program. He would do it. So if this thing is not on your CV already, Kelvin, it should be, I am daring, I am audacious, I'm not afraid, I can go all out. That's the kind of person Kelvin is, and it should be on his CV. And if he's having an interview, he should say that about himself, right? Research your current role. In your current company, it's possible that you are not utilizing all the things that you're supposed to be utilizing in your current role. So in your current role, your company might be limiting you. Get that straight. In your current company, the title you currently hold, your company can be limiting you. So you help yourself. If they cannot give you the knowledge you require at your current company, find it elsewhere. I'm not saying you should leave, I'm saying that you should go and seek the knowledge either via an internship or take a course somewhere. A lot of us don't even know the KPI that our role has. Like if they were to evaluate you, do you know the KPI? As a student, do you know your KPI? I'll tell you your KPI as a student. What is your CGPA? That's a good way for us to know if you were excellent. Were there specific courses that you were the champion, right? In mathematics, I'm the best student. There's no whatever. I'm the go-to person when it comes to publicity in my school. When it comes to marketing, I'm always the number one. I have done this event. I've done that event. I'm the go-to person. Who are you the go-to person for? So take notes. What technical skills have you learned this year? What books have you read this year? A lot of you say you are willing to learn, but you've not read any book this year. Use data. Use statistics. On this link, you will see some of the commonly used verbs. There's so many spearheaded, managed, all of those verbs. You can use it on your CV, right? So last slide. I think we are going to the last slide now. Yes, we've come to the end of my time with you guys. Thank you so much for having me. I'll be able to take questions.
Thank you so much, Miriam. I think I was just telling the community now that they didn't take a lot of notes and apply them going forward. But yes, thank you so much for focusing on corporate. I think when you started, one thing that you said that made me smile, I think Jennifer also smart, was don't make your CV colorful. Don't put your pictures, anything that's going to add too much color on your CV, just tone it down because you might create bias. And I imagine that Jennifer might have a different opinion to that, because on your portfolio, it needs to be colorful. Jennifer, if you're here, do you agree with me?
No, for your portfolio is different because that is like also like part of your CV. It's like the second version of your CV, right? Your
Right.
CV is different, has more of your experience, is more tailored to your 9 to 5-ish, like talk about your JD, your core functions, but your portfolio is basically more visual and it's mostly a lot
Right.
of creative. So she's coming from the angle of corporate setting, which is different from a creative. But if she was to recruit for, say for instance, a social media manager, right, for such a firm, she would require to see at least their portfolio that shows what they have done. So that will still come into play.
Yes, Kelvin, of course. The portfolio needs to be colorful. It's the CV, that first impression. I'm like, what's this?
So let me pick my lead here, thinking, oh, but this person said portfolio and this person said CV. So I guess in a nutshell, if you are creative, you should have both of them, and one should be colorful, or one is usually colorful, which is the portfolio, while the other is very plain and boring, if you like. Just keep it short. I want to ask a question, Miriam. What did you say?
Not necessarily boring.
No, I'm just saying, like, in terms of the
Yeah.
outlook and the structure. I want to ask a question. I think many have asked having that question. For your CV, what's the most number of pages that a CV should have? And are there for different levels, are there numbers per level? So entry level, how many pages must you have? For mid level, how many pages? For leadership level, how many pages should my CV have? That's the most common question I've been asked in the last couple of months.
Okay. So I'll say that for entry level and mid, maximum of 2. That's what I have seen, and that's what's acceptable. Sometimes you don't have to put all your experiences on your CV. That's what your LinkedIn is there for. That's what your website is there for. You can have like a small one page about yourself that is not on your CV. Your CV is just where you put the most relevant information. For entry level guys, one page is fine. For like the very entry level, you don't have a lot of experience. So why are you making it so wordy? One page is good, but for mid-level and mid-level, I would say 2, but some people say maximum of 3.
Mm. Okay. So maximum of 3. Is there anything like, so I always thought, have a master CV that has everything you've ever done in this life, your achievements, etc. And then when you're applying for specific roles, you cannot take out what is not relevant and focus on the job description or what you're applying for, and make it at least 1 to 2 pages. Does that make any sense?
Yes, it does. It's like you have a bank where you have all your experience, but as you're growing in your career, you will shed off some things. Like they're no longer
Mm,
relevant, right? You already have the years of experience. Like you're already a leader somewhere. People will not really care about your
first
you
role.
know. So as you grow, there's things you won't even see anymore.
Mm,
Mm-hmm.
fair
Yeah.
enough. Okay,
Jennifer,
so
please, you can add to what I've said.
Oh no, for
Jennifer, so
sure.
for you, how many pages? If you see 4 pages, would that make
I'm not
you
interested.
uncomfortable?
You are forgetting that we don't have the time. You don't have the
Right,
time to go through that. So your max should be 3. And that is like, even if you're coming in on a C-suite level or something, at
right.
most three, 3 pages. That's the end. I don't need more than that. That's already a lot because how many things am I looking through? When we have a conversation with you, you're going to talk about those key things. So don't stress me, please. So it's still
Right.
going to be 3.
Your last 2 experiences are the thing we probably see. We just look at 1, 2, 3. That's all.
Mm,
Every other thing is just okay. Yeah.
got it. Okay, so this is our Q&A session. I know we had a question from Shion. Let me look for the question. See, Shion, or was it? No, what will be a professional way to negotiate for a better pay if what the company is offering is lower than what you are expecting without coming off as rude or pushy?
Sorry, can you say that again?
What would be a professional way to negotiate for a better pay if what the company is offering is lower than what you are expecting without coming off as rude or pushy? Just better way to negotiate a better pay or higher pay.
I have a template. Depends. It depends. If it's written, you have more room to negotiate. I have a template that works. You can use ChatGPT, but always just saying that, okay, based on where I am right now and the skill set and the experience that I have and what the industry is saying,
Yes.
this is below my expectation, and this is what would, if it's always good to join a company at the place of power, right? Yes, they treat you better. If you were you were you were down, they just kept removing the money. The way they treat you on the job is bad. So I'd say always join a company from the place of power. Never be in a hurry. The problem is we're always in a hurry. We're always anxious. Everybody, I just want to join that company. I just want to join. I just want to join. We're always of that mindset. Just relax, calm down. Don't be in a hurry. If you are valuable enough, they would come up. See, guys, never take the first offer. There's always more money to be spent. I'm sorry for saying this, Jennifer.
No, we are very different. I'm very different. So to be very honest, I like to give people what they ask for or what they want. But if it's below what the pay band is, I would give you what the pay band actually states. Because once you're happy and you get what you want, or even more than what you want, you're in a better position to do well. So I'd always give you that. But I think what I'd mentioned, even regarding to this question, was come from a place of value. There is nothing you can tell me or defend why I should go back to the CEO or get approval to give you more than what our budget is for this particular role if I don't sense or get a sense of value coming from you. I won't do that because I'm also sticking my neck out when I'm trying to defend and make a case and be like, no, this person is very valuable. The turnaround time for this particular role is really hard to get the skill set or the people we require for this role. You're thinking about your turnaround time. You're thinking about your learning process. How long will it take this person to, be able to insert themselves and be hands-on on the job? Or you need to take this person through the recruitment process, train them, all of those things. So I'm letting you know what the cost is going to be and why you need to have this person on the team because this person's experience can, jump into things, get on board with everything. And I'm going to make a case for that person, but I have to get a sense of there's value coming from this. That's the only way I can convince management to approve such.
Excellently said.
Come
Do
from a
the
place
hard
of
work.
value.
Yes, and do the hard work. Be in a role where you're doing something that is niche, something that is so specialized that to find that thing in the market, recruiters will sweat. Those are the people that have the power. The people that are in roles that they themselves, they know that they are really sought after. So the way they sound in the interviews, they carry their shoulders because they know that you need me. Be that person. Be that professional that companies are looking for you. And even if your CV is bad, they don't have a choice.
Okay. Are there any questions in the chat before I go to the Google form where we had most of the questions? Let me check. I think let's go through the chat. I think that's this is very educative. Thank you, Miriam. Thank you, Miriam. Thank you. What if you have only worked mostly for companies that don't really have websites? It's a very good question. So to say, can I read this? What if you've only worked for mostly for companies that don't really have a website? So to say, can you just outline your achievement under each company? So you said
we have to go the extra
mile.
mile. Yes. So let me tell you what I've done. Sometimes volunteer and help them update their LinkedIn profile. You have an agenda, guys. Oh my God. You don't know how desperate we are for this greener pasture. Please update their LinkedIn, use their LinkedIn. Sometimes I even use their Instagram page.
And you put it on your own stuff as an achievement that you help them to update their profile.
Exactly. You can even do it, use their Instagram. Sometimes you can use their Instagram, especially if they have a lot of followers. That could buffer for you. Okay.
Hey, like that one. Someone has a question. One in me. I hope I got that right. Tulu, your hand is up. Infinix, we don't know your name, or Infinix X6831. Tulu, your hand is up. Do you have a question?
Sorry, I really can't hear you. Hello, can you hear me? Sorry.
Yes, we can hear you. I can hear you.
Oh, thank you. Thank you so much, Miriam, for that session. It was really good. I learned a chunk load of stuff because I really joined in late. So my question really is that if you're trying to transition into another industry, more like you've been in a particular industry before, and now you're trying to transition, then it's now became a shocker to what they do in that industry. More like you've not really done those kind of tasks before. You've never had those kind of KPIs before, right, in your previous industry. And they are even now offering a lower pay for something you've not really done before. So what happens in that situation? I don't know if you get my question. More like you've been paid so high in a particular industry and you realize that, oh, I'm not making the most of this industry. Let me transition into another. But it came as a shocker that they're not even paying as much. But the roles are much more experiential, more like you get to do a lot of things. What would you say? Like, which one would you say one should go for?
Okay, so I'm going to allow Jennifer answer after I just say something. I'll say, what's your end goal, Tolu Animi? What's your end goal?
Oh my God, it's a bit tricky, for real.
No, it's not tricky.
It's not.
It's not tricky. I've left a job where I was working 1 month, one day a month. Very fine. The office is way beautiful than the job I was going to take. And it was no longer technology. I was going just because I wanted to be a manager. What's your end?
It's that kind of thing, It's that kind of thing where you are already leading teams, yes, but you're not even doing so much, and you're earning so well. And because of that, you really want to transition. Like, okay, I really want to do more because I know I can do more. I know I can achieve more. I know I can put my best. I have the energy. I have the charisma.
So there are two things you can do, and I'll allow Jennifer to also echo that. There are two things you can do.
Okay.
First is you can just take a pay cut if they're a multinational and their name will do wonders for you after 1 year. Like the name of that company in your CV would break you through, like they will lead you to Diego. I don't know the right, like they're going to fulfill all your dreams. They will lead you to that big dream. That's number one. Number two is take another side thing. Take another side thing where you can learn the things you want to learn and make impact. And after you've done that for like 6 months, 1 year, just add it to your profile and then reapply again and see if the next one you get would be at least a better pay than the one that they're offering you. Those are the two things I personally would do.
Yeah.
So let me hand over to Jennifer. Yeah.
Okay, so I think Miriam pretty much explained and said what I would still say. As the question she asked you was very vital in terms of what's your end goal. So you said you're transitioning into a new space. Is it that you want to learn? Or what is the goal for you in this thing? What do you hope to achieve or get out of this
I
particular?
really want to learn, but I've been used to high pay.
Okay, so then, it's a decision thing.
Personal
Right.
decision.
What are you now moved or motivated by? If
Right.
it's that, oh, I'm motivated by learning, and as Miriam had mentioned, it's very important that this particular company that I'm moving, so it doesn't look like, oh, you started from here and then you're going down. It's a thing of, am I going up? Will this company also open doors or opportunities for me? Take for that. There are some companies that, as a recruiter, if I see their name on your CV, I'm inclined to pay more attention to you as opposed to some other companies that I've seen. That's just the reality of things, right? There are some companies that, if, for example, if I'm to look out for maybe like people in the accounting space or in the finance space, and I'm seeing people from KPMG, Deloitte, I'm inclined to pay more attention to them, right? Or people coming from consultancy firm, I'm inclined to pay more attention to them than other people coming from other regular agencies. So what would the company name do for you? And how would is it better than where you're coming from? So it doesn't look like there's a decline in how your growth trajectory is. Also, if it's that, okay, if I come here or I'm doing this, And as Mariam said, this is going to be a pay cut for me, but I'm looking at it from an angle of I'm able to learn all I need to learn for this better role, to better equip myself for the next opportunity that I'm going to get. Because if I get into some place and they're asking me something to do, and this is the direction I want to go, I want to focus on this new career path, like this, I see myself in this particular sector or in this role, I'm growing in this particular direction. If that is what it is for you, then you know how you want to navigate it. If not, if it's not, if you look at the pro and the cons and you wait, it does not make sense. Peace out.
Please,
Right.
can I just add one last thing?
Yeah.
You can have both. You can have your high-paying job and you can go and learn. You can learn for free. Like if you volunteer at another company and say, I'm going to give you from 4 p.m. to 6 p.m. every day, I'll work for free. Like, why can't you just do that as well? Or is this
Okay.
company so amazing you don't want to lose them?
No. I've actually lost them. More like I'm currently on a professional break, taking like courses to upskill, right? I am currently upskilling. I'm like, that's what I'm doing currently, right? But I just realized that if I want to apply for the same roles I've done before, they are now paying like something lesser because I'm really switching industries. That's just it. That's what is happening. I used to be in the Web3 space, a whole lot of pay, right? But it wasn't so much of experience, right? It was just like game of numbers,
Why did you leave your job?
I did not leave. The startup crashed. The startup actually crashed. Do you get?
Okay.
Yeah, because they're all startups, and they don't really have like solid foundation. So now I'm finding it difficult to now come into a space where they're not even so much paying, and at the same time the work is more. I don't even mind the work, honestly. I really don't mind. That's what I need. I need the skill. I need to improve and all of those things and show workings, right?
Do they offer internship opportunities?
Where?
In this new place or in this new career path or this new journey you're envisioning or you want to go into, if it's something they do, perhaps you could take that. So you know that you're giving a 3 months with 6 months max time to learn all of these things. And you know that while you're in that ecosystem, you're going to absorb and learn as much as you can. Now, in terms of what the pay can look like, perhaps you can look for a remote gig or something that you can do. So that way you know how to juggle. But by the time you now want to go into this new space like properly, you already have the experience and you already have like insider information into how to navigate or how to go around things.
All right. Thank you so much for that. I really don't want to take everybody's time. Can I reach out to either of you later just to continue this conversation? I am so sorry. I need it. Like, I badly need it. Miriam, what about you? Like, I badly need it. I'm so sorry, guys. I would really love to reach out to you guys like later on because I don't want to keep everybody waiting. Thank you.
Okay, we'll send you their emails.
Thank you so
after
much.
the session. Yes, please. Yes. I see that we have 2 hands, and who's there? Okay, so okay, Hadiza. I think Hadiza had a hand up. Hadiza, go ahead.
Thank you. Hi, Miriam. Thank you for an amazing session. So I just have one question. So you mentioned that there are some roles where people come with a certain brag because it's not oversaturated when you're interviewing them, you just know that they know who they are and they know the value that they bring. I just want to ask, can you give some examples of such roles? Yes.
Every role has it, and I'll give you an example. You're a virtual assistant that speaks French. You're a virtual assistant that speaks Chinese. You speak Korean. Of all the virtual assistants that I've interviewed, nobody has French certificates. So you tell the person that is about to hire you that, sir, I can even do diplomatic calls, I speak other languages. Every skill, every role can be so specialized that they will hire you because you're just doing something different than what that person is doing. That's number one. Graphic designer, you do graphic design, you do motion design, right? You do all kinds of design. You do UI, UX. You are not just a graphic designer. You're not just a product designer. Sorry, you're not just a UI, UX. You are a product designer. You've qualified yourself to a point where there are only a few of you. Another one is social media manager. Social media manager that knows about Google ads. you know about meta ads, you know how to do all these very difficult things. See, we pay a guy all the way from Bangladesh $500 we pay him every 4 weeks because he helps us with Google ads and meta ads. If somebody in Nigeria has that same skill set, this guy is making that money on Upwork. He's making that money on Upwork because he has that skill. Do you understand what I'm trying to say? Another would be, okay, I code. I can do, I'm a software engineer. Unfortunately, the engineers are the ones making the most money right now. But I'm just telling you that in this same country, people are cashing out because they can just do something a little extra. My role, Miriam's role as a recruiter, there's a Netflix role that hires for my role, but they don't hire people like me exactly. If I had like Python skills, I'll be utter. In fact, this next skill set Miriam is supposed to learn is Python. If I can learn Python like this, no Nigerian employer will be able to catch me, because I'll be fire. Global opportunities, right? But I feel like I'm too laid back right now to say, okay, I want to learn Python. But I'm just trying to tell you that, right? People will tell you, okay, the engineering, data analytics, Python, engineers, MEL, machine learning, those ones are like, they pay a lot of money. But I'm telling you that even from the smallest roles, you can be exceptional and you will still be sought after, even from the very small, not so niche roles. That's what I'm trying to communicate. I'm not trying to say that, okay, don't be an engineer. You can be, but you can even be exceptional from the small common roles that you're currently doing. That's what I think.
Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
Right, and we have your hand is still up.
Yes, it is. Hi, everyone. Thank you so much. This has been such an insightful session. Mine is a follow-up to the question that Tolua Nimi asked. So you basically suggested that she does an internship. But my question really is, so coming from, say, a managerial position, taking that internship in a new industry, what does this mean for you? Are you able to access managerial roles in the new industry, especially if most of the skills are transferable and maybe there's just one technical skill that you needed to learn to switch industries? So how do you really reconcile this when you're negotiating?
I would say that getting a job, it takes skill and it takes diversity. When you're thinking about getting a job, think about it from a strategic point of view, right? Out of 100%, I'm going to do 10% job application. But because I'm trying to enter into a new space, I'm going to leverage a lot on networking. I'm just telling you that it might be difficult for you to get the exact managerial position that you've had before, right? Because you're trying to change industries, but it is possible if you network properly and you're able to sell yourself, and maybe somebody just says, okay, let me just give you an opportunity. Let's just see how you, okay, maybe you work for free for like 6 months and you're exceptional, they will retain you, or from the internship as well, right? It is possible to get another managerial role if you spend like maybe 6 months gaining the technical skill, but it is not easy because most times, for example, if I want to hire a manager from like InterSwitch, I would prefer to hire somebody that is an associate manager from a similar industry. It sometimes takes me a bit of convincing to give you that same chance. I'm not saying it's not possible, right? But sometimes you may need to have maybe one HR person or somebody that is sticking their neck for you. It's not easy, but it is doable. That's why I said your strategy to getting a job, you have to diversify it. It cannot just be one way that you're trying multiple ways, and then whatever then works. It might be easier for you to get an associate role than you now go into the managerial role because it's a new terrain. Thank you.
Penny, you have anything to add?
I believe Miriam was very spot on because no one will give you an opportunity for a managerial role in a niche or a space that you're not familiar with or you do not have experience in. That would not be possible. But you need to be able to show them that you have what it takes through what you're currently doing. And as she made mention, your network is key. Your network, in fact, I will tell you for a fact that most times, for some strategic positions or role, we work based on referrals. Those are the people I would rather give those opportunity to compared to even people that will apply. Like I would go through CVs and all, but it's easier when someone comes to me and be like, oh, Jennifer, this person I know applied, but this person is solid. I will quickly go and look for the person and put the person in the yes pile first, as opposed to thinking twice. So if you're able to do this thing and build your network, it's very essential that regardless of whether you are an experienced hire, someone starting off, you need to go for all of this network engagement and stuff and build your community, build your network, do stuff. Like, guys, I can't tell you how many opportunities I've had, and this come from people just referring me for these things. And it's not like I sent my CV. It's not like I even applied. So there's some companies that I don't even know anything about, but HR person will just call me and be like, "Oh, someone recommended you for this role." There was a time, in fact, even buttress this, there was a time where there was a company that reached out to me, and what they were offering me, or not in terms of money, but the role, it wasn't something I had done before. It was in the hospitality, in the hospitality sector. But no, when I say hospitality sector, it looks like, oh, it's maybe, no, let me say, for example, it was a hospital gig. I don't recruit for hospitals. I don't do all of those things. Like, that is not an area that I would focus on or a specialty, but I was like, a good challenge. Why not? And I did it. Well, with the helps of people in my network, because I had people who were doctors, I had people who were specialists in all of these things. And I mean, I'll loop them into interviews and stuff because it's not everything I know. I wouldn't know what to really like. But at least that helped because someone recommended me, someone believed that I could do this thing. And that even gave the HR or the recruiting manager the opportunity to even call me, knowing fully well that this is not a sector that I have delved into or done anything. But also looking into my own network, inner network, people I could liaise with, people I could speak with, that could also help me. And I also did my work. I did my research. I learned. I had to put in the work. It's one thing to know about these things. It's one thing to leverage on your own network. It's another thing to actually put in the work, do your research, be knowledgeable, show that there's some form of level of transfer of skill that you can give. Also show that there's value that you can bring. That makes it easier for you.
Okay, thank you very
Can I
much.
say one last thing, Kelvin? I'm so sorry. I feel like a lot of people also keep quiet. I don't understand why we are shy. Why are you shy? On your WhatsApp status, let them know who you are. Let them know that you're a thought leader in that space. Like some people, we are just existing. Nobody knows anything about our passion, about our job. See, if you keep quiet, opportunities will keep passing you by. That's just it.
Let me know on that keep quiet part. For instance, I'm not one to really go all out, or I'm a very private person. I'm not a loud person. However, what I do know is that by virtue of even my role or my function, there are places I don't have a choice than to speak up. I don't have a choice than to make my presence felt. Sometimes I'm like, my social battery is just zero. I just want to hide. I don't want to be, in fact, I would say I think I'm guilty of that. My social media presence is not like that. But I'm always on social media, guys. I'm always there. However, maybe for example, if you go on my Instagram, I don't really post. I only post maybe on my birthday. That's it, to be honest. I don't really do much. But in places that matters, I speak up. In my HR community, I would insert myself. Are there things on LinkedIn that I want to learn? Even if I have to send you a DM or something, I'm pushing, I'm constantly learning. But it does not mean like, so you might be a very introvert or whatever, but however, you can't let that limit or stop you from shining or speaking up. Guys, to be very honest, where you need help, speak up, ask questions, send message. Like let people know that, oh, I want to learn this, I want to do this. Because again, it's one thing to just send a message like, oh, I want to learn this, I want to do this, but I don't know where to start from. I won't tell you how to start. Go and do your research. I've come to me and be like, oh, I've done this, I've done that. I just need maybe perhaps I need guidance. So no problem. I'm open to that. I will guide you. But if I'm not seeing anything to work with, I'm really not ready to give you 100% if you're not ready to give me 100% of your own energy and time as well. But we need to learn to speak up. That's the one way that you would get help, guys. Like, to be honest, you will get help. When I need to recruit sometimes, if I'm finding it difficult to get some kind of people for some role, if I'm posting on LinkedIn, asking people, I'm asking my network, I'm posting on my WhatsApp, I'm going to my communities. Sometimes I will reach out to Kevin, guy, do you have someone to recommend for this or for that? Like, I go with my network, I go with people that I have, literally. I will not keep mouths or keep quiet about this thing. I'd be like, not speak, because if you need even job offerings, there's sometimes that people have openings, but if you're not speaking up, they don't know you're even looking for a job. They don't even know you're ready to transition. So you can be like, guy, I want to transition. No, I'm looking for a vacancy in XYZ industry. So perhaps if you know, just look me in. I've had random people just send me, Subi, what's up? Or I'm available I want to transition. I'm like, oh, okay, so I have this. I will send your way. You need to learn to speak up. It's very important. When you go for gatherings, have your CV available, or you can send them a message instantly. While we've been on this call, about 2 people have followed me on LinkedIn already. I've seen the post.
Hey.
It's just that these guys are they're ready to go at it. Like, I want to learn. I want to do this now. And it makes me feel like you're actually interested and motivated to push the thing. So if there are openings, I'll literally send them your way. Because you're my thoughts.
Please, I also like to say that you don't know when people are actually watching you. People are watching you. Like, if Jennifer is leaving her current company and she's going to another company, I'm sure she already has people she's planning to poach.
Always. Always.
We know them. So please, that's why I said excellence is key. Be excellent and speak up so that you have that visibility. Like I said, we're looking for people that are talented, but are also visible. So yeah, thank you, Kelvin, for this time.
Okay, so I'm going to do a quick, rapid question. So, what challenges? So this is the back end. I'm going to read through all of the questions. They're just one line. If there's anyone that catches your interest, Jennifer and Miriam, just pause me and give your response to that, and I'll keep it moving. So let's go from top. Distance is far. So someone says distance. That's the reason why he or she has gotten a job. What is such a person? Anybody? Distance.
From one place. I think we pretty much have spoken about that. Like, look, if you're looking for an opportunity somewhere, do you have an alternative or a place that you can stay? So if it's a job that is in Abuja and in Lagos, you really expect you have someone in Abuja and you're willing to relocate. If not, then really don't even bother to apply. Look for jobs around your vicinity that, because again, we need to be realistic. If you're in Lagos or in a place where there's constant traffic, it's hard to commute, you need to be mindful that, oh, where am I commuting from? Coming from where to where? How variable is this? Is it a place that I can easily get to? Or is it that I'm going to pay so much heavily on transportation? Weigh all of these things before you do anything. If not, just look for places around you. And if, for example, you're in a place where it's hard for you to get jobs, maybe perhaps look for family and friends or someone that you could stay with in a vicinity that is closer to where those job openings are, or where you get a lot of visibility.
Okay, great.
For remote gigs.
What did you say?
Or look for remote gigs.
Remote gigs, yes. Look for remote
gigs.
opportunities. Okay, got it. Second one, it says courage. I imagine that's for interview. I don't have the courage to apply to go for interviews. What is it, such person? No courage.
Practice in front of the mirror. You're looking at yourself.
In front of a mirror, in front of friends.
Do questions. You can use ChatGPT to get some kind of interview questions. Start asking those questions. Ask your friends and family to ask you those questions, and they should be serious. Like, do those practice, answer them, ask for feedback in terms of how your response was. We're using a lot of filler words. What do you need to do? What can you do differently? How can you say this differently? Sometimes you can even, those questions that you see on ChatGPT or whatever, put your response there and ask ChatGPT to rate you and rework what your response is. It will give you a better way to even say it.
Got it.
Sorry, may I add to this? You can also apply to jobs you don't like. I'm sorry, guys. Apply to the jobs that you know they will call you, but you don't really want the job. You just use them to test run so that you begin to build momentum. So that's one of the things you can do as well.
All right. Someone says age limit, lack of practical knowledge or experience. I think that's been answered. Go and intern, go and volunteer. Someone says distance, answered. Have not having a good CV. That has been discussed. Never get any feedback. Never get any feedback. Let's assume that maybe it's a CV issue. Do we agree? You never get any feedback. They're just better candidates than yourself, and they're people who have better CVs than you do. Underemployment. Ladies, what do we think? Underemployment. I think similar to what what the lady said about wanting to move to a new role, but the pay is lesser than her former roles. Do we agree? The same thing?
It's not the same thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, because unemployment is I'm getting less pay than either minimum wage or what I expect. No, I'm unemployed.
Underemployment is you're not earning well enough, right? Like you're earning way below maybe the minimum wage.
Yeah, or
it's different from she's trying to do a
rate.
transition.
Okay.
No. So it's possible that Tolu Animi was earning premium and it's not the standard.
Right.
So there's also that what is possible in the industry. Do you understand?
All right. Okay.
Yeah.
Got it. Okay.
So
I'm not getting back to me.
For underemployment, right, guys, there's a cheat code for underemployment. Exceptionalism, get an internship, work for free, give yourself a timeline, be exceptional, and then apply elsewhere. Another would be graduate trainee programs. Why are we not taking advantage of graduate trainee programs? The banks are hiring. If you want to be a software engineer, if you want to be a data analyst, the easiest way for you to start is at the banks.
Yeah. 100%.
Please, let's take advantage of it. If you meet their requirements, go and apply. Don't be afraid to work at the bank. The banks teach you discipline, and you get one of the best networks you ever get in your career working at the banks. So please go work there. Please. Thank you.
Creating a 1 minute video for application. I have seen this a lot on Twitter. Ladies, why asking us to create a 1 minute video for application? Why?
It depends on what the access. So it depends on the position you're also applying for, what role you're applying for. Right. So for example, most times where you probably would see this is maybe in a creative space, to be honest. Where like you're saying you're coming in, for example, you want to come in for a hosting gig, you want to host red carpets. I need to know you're able to work the camera and you're not shy. I need to be able to test your diction, how you're speaking. Are you able to speak in a way people will understand? Are you able to, what's your charisma like? Are you able to drive people in that comment? So it depends on, I would not tell an accountant to go and do a 1 minute video. I don't need him to do that. I need his numbers. I need to see his reports, his summary, how he's able to explain whatever numbers he has done that even the board can understand at a glance. I need to see what his board would look like. I wouldn't tell an accountant that. But a social media person, a host, those are different. So it depends on where you're coming from, what kind of job, the role you're coming in for. That is where they require like a 1 minute video. And then again, it's your elevator pitch. Sell yourself. That's your best bet. Look the part. Sell yourself.
I'd like to add something, please.
Okay.
I actually have a confession. I just applied for a job recently. My employer, please don't look at this. Please don't share this publicly. But wait, it's part of life, right? I got an email from this global company. They're based in Canada. They told me to apply. The salary they were offering was even below my expectation, but I still applied. Why? Because I'm always interested in global opportunities. And I had to do like 2 videos, 1 audio. Nobody is too big for an opportunity. There are bigger opportunities than you've ever dreamt of. You will fly to another country for an opportunity. So if the job is important to you, you might as well apply. And if you're not interested in working in a global company and earning well, stay in your no video zone and don't do it.
Ouch.
Yes.
Ouch.
I'm sorry, I'm mean.
I say what I said.
You can be realistic.
Yes, because if it's important enough to you, and you're tired of staying at home and earning peanuts, and you don't want to shoot the video, I'm very confused.
Don't forget that even the recruiter has gone through a lot. So at some point, they're like, you know what, this is the best way to sift through all of these things. Can you? Because we have hired people that will bobo you and tell you I can do all of these things and come on board and they're underperforming. So you're also thinking about what is the best way to go around this? How can I save your time and save my time where we don't waste each other's time? If you really want it, you will do the video.
You will do it. Well. Exactly. Do you know how many tests I've done? I think it was crazy. I did one very lengthy assessment because I'm the one looking for opportunity. So
gotta do what you gotta do. All right. So next one is my CV issues that have been resolved. Hopefully, not much responses after application. I think we're gonna put it down to maybe your CV not being good enough. I've not secured. What did you say?
Or follow up.
Follow up, yes. Oh my goodness, that cannot be overemphasized. Follow up. I've not secured any job interview. CV issues, yes.
Not just CV issues. I've told you already. We've said it so many times. There's a strategy to getting a job. 20% job application, 20% my network, another 20% freelance, another
intern, volunteer.
Church.
Experience. Yeah.
Try. There are church groups that they can even hire you part-time.
Yeah. Got it. Okay. So how I respond to questions during interviews, that's another topic on its own. Having a CV that is eye-catchy, that's been resolved. Rejection, that's a CV. What else again do we have here? Sometimes it could be job requirements. You know what to do now. I get rejection emails. You know what to do now. CV issue. It's sometimes difficult not receiving feedback after interviews. Said follow up. Please follow up. Applying without getting a response as expected. Follow up. No feedback. Follow up. Not enough qualifications. You know what to do.
Kelvin, I would like to say that you're not the only one not getting feedback. All of us are not getting feedback. All of us are not getting feedback. How many job interviews, how many job applications did you apply to? Have you done 1,000 application? Yes. Have you done 1,000 application that you're saying you did not get a response? You used one CV for all of them.
Not only one CV, even the cover letter. You know how, for example, maybe I want to apply to Gigi and it's the same application. I wrote Wave there. I wrote maybe Telsco or something. I'll not forward that message to the next company. You think I would take the time to respond to you? I'm just saying, attention to detail matter. But Kelvin, I don't know if we have time. If we could just do an on-the-spot interview, like in 5 minutes, where we could just ask some very random interview questions and let people just respond. Let's see how they respond. So we can even give you guidance or like what you can do differently or how you can, say something differently.
All right. Let's do that. We're here to learn. So let's get the most value for our time. So what questions do you have? And then anyone who can answer will go. Happy to chime in as well. Do you have any?
Maybe the most common one would be just tell me a bit about yourself.
Does anybody wants to take a stab at it? Anybody? Hi, my name is Kelvin. I am a marketing communications specialist with 7 years experience. I currently work at West Africa Vocational Education. I'm looking to transition into the tech space. I joined Wave in 2010 when I finished school. I started off as an intern, and as an intern, I was in charge of outreach and admissions. After 5 months, I was retained as a full-time employee, and I was now a full-time outreach and admissions coordinator. In that role, my job has how do I say it now? My job has entailed looking for people who are interested in the WAVE program, because what we do at WAVE is we find people who are unemployed, and we get them to the program and teach them on employability skills and guide them into getting a job. So I did that for about 2.5 years, after which I moved on to social media management, because my boss thought that I was very experienced, or I had passion for social media. So I was in charge of the online aspect of outreach. After 1 year, I was now moved to marketing communications. So I was a marketing comms coordinator for about 2 years, and that entailed the whole spectrum of online. It was mostly digital marketing. So I would run campaigns to get people into class. And one of my biggest achievements in marketing comms was when we pivoted to online academy. At the time, it was COVID. This is 2020. We pivoted to COVID to online, and then we had.
You want to take away everything. Give
Sorry.
opportunity to other people, please.
Right.
Please give opportunity
I
to
want
others.
to set the pace for people that may not have the
Please.
confidence.
Don't
Does
make
anybody
them
want to go
scared.
next? Let's anybody. 1 minute. Does anybody want to try?
I'll try.
All right, who's that?
Sarah.
Sarah, let's go. Don't worry. You're better off trying than not. You'll be remembered today. You'll be remembered. All right, go ahead.
Okay. Yes, my name is Sarah Olarinde. I attended Yaba College of Technology, where I studied physics with electronics. Because of my passion for data and analysis, in 2024, I took up a course in data analysis, where I learned how to derive insight from data and present it in such a way that it should bring up a high recommendation for the organization. Presently, I am doing a course. I just rounded off a course in data science and machine learning, and I've been able to do some few projects that are on my portfolio. And presently, I'm doing a course in data engineering, hoping to transition into a data enthusiast. And presently, I am working at a Quick Remit, where I'm an IT product management / business intelligence intern, where I'm able to work with the product manager to draw product roadmap for the organization. And presently, I did a fraud detection app that can detect fraudulent transaction in real time. And based on that project, I've been able to cause a kind of improvement in fraud detection in the company's website system. And I believe that I'm still growing, and I'm still working on myself to become a better data analyst. Thank you.
Miriam, do you want to go? Thank you, Sarah.
Feedback, Sarah.
Okay, I'll just go then while Miriam can come in later. Thank you so much, Sarah, for going and giving this a shot. You did do well. I would give you that, like, you did well. For the sports kind of thing, I mean, you did do well. Couple of things maybe perhaps you could tweak or adjust. You started with your name and then you went into your graduate from Yaba Tech. I don't need to know that it's in your CV. Right? That you don't want to take away from what you're doing. I like the fact that you had gone on to say, oh, this was your study, this is what you studied in school, and this is what you're doing, blah, blah, blah. Like, you had started learning this, you had done this, you had done that, which is good. But it would have been easier if you had said, maybe, for example, oh, I'm coming in with XYZ years of experience in this, right? Because you have already tied it back to what you currently do, because it shows that you are working. and this is what your role encompasses. This is what you do. And that you have also talked about like the software you are utilizing and using alongside, yeah,
Please mute
alongside
your mic.
alongside where you're heading to in terms of like, oh, you're upskilling to learn XYZ. So it would have better if you had come from that angle, showing your name, no problem. Talk about your current, like, oh, I have XYZ experience, or I currently do. You're talking about your experience. You're talking about the softwares, what you're doing, and how you are upscaling by learning another blah. That is an easier route and angle to come from. And then you talked about also like the fact that you also spoke about like, areas you're excelling at. And in a way, you kind of touched about your weakness, but you talked about how you're improving and working on that. So that was a solid one to do.
Miriam, you want to
Thank you.
add to that before you drop off? Because I know that we have limited time. Miriam, you there? Is Miriam here? Let's see. Okay, I don't know if Miriam is here, but anyway, thank you so much for Glory. Okay, Glory has been bugging me to give the show. All right, Glory, let's go. Let's get real-time feedback. I mean, what's the purpose of this engagement if you can't get real-time feedback? So Glory, go ahead. There's a lot to learn from this. Glory.
Can you hear me, please?
Yes, we can hear you. Make this glorious.
Good afternoon, Jennifer. I think Miriam has stepped out, so her
Okay.
chat up there.
Okay.
Okay. My name is Glory, and I've been in the corporate for some time. So I'm transitioning to hospitality. Actually, I was in the corporate. I was a banker for some years, and I'm shy.
Don't worry. Take your time. Take your time.
Okay. Now
What
I'm
did you do in
trying
the bank? What did you do in the bank?
You said?
What was your role? What was your role in the bank?
Okay, I was a teller.
Okay. And what did that
I did
entail?
tailoring for 3 years plus. Then I relocated and I'm transitioning to the hospitality industry. I've been on and off the hospitality, but recently I really am making a move back into hospitality, and I've taken some courses, and I'm still taking some courses ongoing, but I'm really looking for, I don't really
Thank
have
you.
any work experience. So
Okay,
I'm
let me,
shy.
let me jump in. Let me jump in.
Yeah,
Well done,
Jennifer.
Glory. Well
Okay,
done,
Miriam.
Glory. So yeah, I would just say this. So my name is Glory. I have over a decade in the banking space. Recently transitioned, sorry, let me rephrase. My name is Glory. I have over a decade in the banking space. I've done a bit of, management operations in the banking space for the last 2 years before now transitioning into the hospitality sector. I'm currently working in, or if not working, learning a bit about, the hospitality industry in terms of like management, clients, no, not clients, sorry. I'm so used to agencies, I was about to say clients, customer success, customer experience management. That customer experience management encompasses whatever it is you are doing in the hospitality sector, whether be it in the experience of the client from start to finish, whatever the experience may be, from walking into the door to equipping the team members, training them, to the kind of experience, if they are there to maybe chill, if it is in the food sector, food, restaurants, whatever the case may be, to whatever the experience will be like. Your customer experience has encompassed everything. So whether you're at the till, whether you're an accounts person, whether your customer experience statement, it looks big, but it has covered everything you have done or everything you will do in the hospitality sector. So you need to look for what word you can use to explain or depict what you're referring to, as opposed to breaking it down to the minute things and making it not look like it's super relevant, right? So yeah, it'll be easier if you just, do that breakdown and use the word, because again, it's like you are boboing us, but not necessarily giving us the bobo, if that makes sense. You are selling yourself. Again, remember that this is an avenue for you to sell yourself to us. And we only go by based on what we hear you say or based by what we see. That's the only way we can understand. So you're telling me you're coming from already, I'm already thinking of already that, oh, this person has wealth of experience coming from the banking space, which is very structured, which is very disciplined, which there are processes. So which means you're a process person. For you to stay in the banking space for 10 years, you're a process person, you are disciplined. That's already a tick. And then transitioning into the hospitality space that talks about customer experience, customer success in the hospitality. I'm not sure where in particular you are working in the hospitality. Sorry, I talk real fast. Hospitality industry, but you are tilting towards that, right? So you're talking about the customer experience. You're talking about training. You're talking about retraining team members if they're in that space as well. You're talking about you're also upscaling to learn XYZ that would be beneficial to XYZ organization. You are putting in the works. Now you also need to talk about so remember I mentioned your retraining, but I just put that word there because again, I'm not sure what form of sector you're in the hospitality space and what the software or tools would look like. So I don't know what they're utilizing in that place. So if there are tools that you have learned or what tools are conversant or used mostly in the hospitality sector, it'd be nice to say that. In the places where you worked before you left, because again, there's a gap in your hospitality sector industry work. You worked a bit in hospitality industry, then you took a step back and now you're back in. So while you were there, what were the things you were doing? You need to, put that there. And then they don't need to know that, oh, I've taken so much gap. They can probably see that in your CV and then they might probably ask questions around, oh, why is this gap there? What is and what not? But you can transition and just, don't give them too much loopholes to ask you questions on. Just move on.
Okay.
I don't know if that
So we hope that helped. Okay, great. So let me say this first of all. We've come to the end of the session so that we don't keep us waiting. But I know that there's two people who have their hands raised, and I will get to you because Jennifer has been so gracious to give us some more time so she can give us real-time feedback. So first of all, thank you all so much for being a part of this session. I hope that it was as insightful, it was strategic for you, and it was very helpful, and it will help you in the next coming months, going to the new year, so you can start applying and getting feedback. So please click the link in the chat for feedback. They would love to get feedback about their session, how impactful it was. Did it answer any burning questions that you had? Please click the link in the chat box and share your feedback. Meanwhile, if you also want to do the elevator pitch, please stay behind so that Jennifer can give you feedback. But other than that, we've come to the end of this session. My name is Kelvin, and this was brought to you by WAVE, West Africa Vocational Education. Follow us across our socials at WAVE Academies. Follow the participants. That was just such a very strategic move by whomever it is that did that. Follow them on LinkedIn. Jennifer Subi, Miriam Adegoroye, follow them on LinkedIn. Share your thoughts with them that you're part of this session. Stay top of mind. That's just a strategic way of connecting with or building your network. But other than that, thank you all for your time. We've come to the end of the session. If you have, yes, please fill the form before leaving. Please fill the form. That's a way of just saying thank you to WAVE and thank you to the facilitators. Other than that, if you want to be part of the elevator pitch, just stay behind so that Jennifer can give you feedback. But yeah, we've come to the end of the session. All right. I think Mary was done. We have someone before MM. Someone had their hand up before MM. Who was you? Who were you? Yeah, Kola. Kola said I want to give it a shot. All right, Kola. Let's go ahead. Don't worry. Make the mistake here. You are better off making the mistake here than in front of your interviewer. So go ahead.
Okay. Good afternoon. So I think I want to move away from my initial giving it a shot. I actually want to ask a question.
Okay, you have a question.
Yes.
All right, go ahead.
Okay, I'm a medical doctor with about 9 years of experience. So a lot of it was clinical experience. And after COVID, I moved to public health for 2 years. And now I'm currently in what I call occupational health. My CV, problem I have in my own CV right now is I feel like it's just too many different experiences that I don't have to communicate that on my CV at the end of the day. I feel like it's a bit confusing because first, my real passion, what I really love as a doctor is public health. But again, in the space of working, I've had to move a lot, well, for many reasons, maybe pay, this and that. Right now, I'm trying to go back to public health space and then I'm applying for jobs. And I don't know if the experience that I have in the public health organization that I worked in was really broad. But when it comes to communicating that on my CV, it has become it's always hard. I mean, I've done my best to communicate it as I know, but I haven't gotten feedback from, when I apply to organizations. And I've worked in managerial positions in the NGO, even though it was it was 2 years. But I went back to the current job that I work as a doctor. But again, it's still like an occupational health therapist. But how do I repackage my CV now that I'm applying back to public health, basically? That's been my challenge because I haven't gotten feedback. I've applied for like a month now, and I haven't gotten any feedback yet from any place that I've applied to. So I don't know if that's a CV problem or maybe they're confused on what exactly is this guy doing in this medical space on the CV. So yes.
Okay. So hi, Paula. Thank you so much.
Hi.
Thank you.
Hi, Jennifer.
Yeah. All right. To touch on this or to answer your question, if you are tilting towards the public health, I think your best bets, again, I'd want to ask, is it what's your application like, or what are they using an ATS software, or is it like a normal sending an email to the company? Because if it is that, right, when there's an opportunity in the public health sector, you will need to push or perhaps what you have done in your other places, because again, you know fully well that it was a while back that you did public health kind of job or tax or anything, right? And the most recent one you're currently doing is like, the doctorate stuff on this, on that. But there's also a way that you can twist your functions to reflect that of or relating to some tax you would do in public health.
Yes.
So tweak that to reflect those things. Your CV has to be tweaked to reflect those things.
Okay.
That's why they said that your CV has to constantly change to the different organization you're applying for. Yes. So there are also some key things or some special skill sets or special knowledge that require you to be able to prove or show. Include that in your CV when applying.
Okay.
Then you go ahead and you apply. After applying, another way to push is also do your research to know who are for example, who is the recruitment or HR person in that particular organization.
Okay.
Reach out to them. Send the person an email as well. Because you know how sometimes when you apply, you're sending to like maybe, for example, it's the general HR email.
Yes.
And there are a lot of stuff coming in. But you can also look for the particular head of maybe HR or hiring manager or talent manager, whoever works in that organization. Send them an email. You can also follow up by going to the organization. Random. Yeah, you can actually just go there, look the part, and be like, oh, you want to have a conversation with XYZ person?
Yeah.
Now, I applied for XYZ role. I haven't gotten a feedback, so I didn't meet fit to just come and maybe have a chat. So I've seen that happen where, as I mentioned, I've done some recruitment for some organization, or rather in the hospital sex space. And there was a time where someone literally walked in for a vacancy that wasn't even advertised. He just came in random. I'm like, oh, I want to work in this company, and this is this. And we just had a chat, and I had to go and pull in some other people to come sit in for that chat. I was like, I can't be the only one to have a conversation with this person because, again, I'm not the expert in this. I needed someone to come sit in. And it was like, hey, please, do you have 5-10 minutes to spare? I pulled the person, and we had a conversation. And even though what he came for, it was not the role we gave him, but he got an offer for a different role in that company.
Okay, that's great. Thank you so much.
No problem.
Thank you so much.
All right.
All right.
Thank you. All right, please keep in the feedback form, please. We were about 40 that were on this session. Let's get at least 20 people to fill the feedback form. It's a way to just appreciate Wave and the facilitators. So please, I think you had a question. Your hand was raised, unless you moved on. Other than that, if anybody else wants to take a stab at the tell me by yourself, let's do that. Let's do that. Chill. I know that you want to do this, but you're shy. Don't be shy here. Oh. You can be shy when you go for an actual interview, but here, don't be shy, ladies and gentlemen.
Sorry. Hi. Good morning. Sorry, good afternoon.
What is your name? Change your name. Change the title of your ID.
Sorry, my name is Victoria.
Hello, Victoria. We're seeing Infinix here.
Yes.
Can you change it?
Let me see.
If you can, it's fine. You can do it later. Let's go.
Okay, sorry, I was supposed to do that since. Okay, I think I've changed it. Is it reflecting?
Yeah.
Okay, great.
Okay.
Let's go.
Hi,
Let's go.
my name is Victoria. Okay, I just want to give it a shot. But first I want to ask Jennifer, thank you so much for the session. As the one that sent the message then when I asked what if you're in a company where they don't really have a website, but while the session was still going on, I went and checked and I decided to be very deliberate about always including even though it's their LinkedIn profile or their website on it. But thank you too. And you also say, Jennifer, that we can also pitch it out to them too. I want to ask, how many minutes can you use to explain if it's asked you, tell me about yourself, in how many minutes? I'm not really much of someone that talks like that. So most of the time, these questions are thrown to me in 1 minute, 30 seconds, I'm done. So I don't know if that's wrong.
No, it's not wrong. There's no wrong or right answer when asked such a question. But I think what angle or where they typically would like to come from, or where we recruiters would like to come from is, so I would speak for myself. I've gone through people's CV. I don't ask them questions based on what is on their CV, to be honest. I ask them questions based off what they have said. So typically when they ask you to just like, in 2 minutes or in a minute, well, I'll typically say in 2 minutes, tell me a bit about yourself because you don't want to also drag the conversation. You just speak about yourself, your experience, how many years, what you're currently like, what specialty or area you are focused on, or you're currently doing stuff on, and then you use the star situation or star method straight up. That's your cheat code. Just use the star situation. So basically, you just pick an experience from any company, anywhere you had worked, whatever it is you had done. You talk about, what's the actions or what was required of you. You move on straight to what was the result or based of the action that you are taking, right? And you have moved on. So because already, and that maybe just to wrap up or to close out, you can then talk about like, where your strength lies. So this is the area, like, you're very good at this, you do this, you blow your trumpet, you talk about this thing, but you're talking about it from a place of confidence that no matter the question you want to ask me, I can deliver straight up. So it's not based off on that. Typically, they'll not ask you a question around, okay, you said you worked in XYZ or you worked on this and you did this and you did that. Tell me a bit about like, how maybe you worked with an irate client, a client that was so coming, blah, blah, blah. That is how the questions or the interview will now go on.
Okay, all right, thank you. Thank you so
No
much.
problem.
I would love to give it a try and also get a feedback. Let me see.
Go, go,
Okay.
So
go,
what
go, go.
if I start, what if I don't say up to I don't talk up to 2 minutes? You said in 2 minutes. What if I just give a description of myself in 1 minute?
That's
Would that
fine. You
disqualify?
can pull it in 1 minute to talk about everything. You're very straight on, like straight on to the point. That's not a problem.
Okay. All right, no problem. Okay, good afternoon, Jennifer. Good afternoon, Calvin. My name is Victoria Mbora. I I was a financial manager for 3 years, where I transitioned fully into tech. I currently am a customer service specialist and a professional code caller agent, where I've worked, okay, in my as a financial manager for 3 years. I've worked with a financial company in Nigeria where I helped the CEO to manage his company's fund. I also I reduced fund fraud by, let me say, 80% in the company. I was able to fish out staff that were doing some malicious activities and also made the reports to the CEO, and which also helped to which also helped to increase his revenue every month. I was also in charge of I was also in charge of overseeing some of the staff in the company, where I did some trainings on how they can speak to customers, since it was a loan company, where they were able to speak to customers, how they were able to go about introducing the company, telling the benefits of what they will get, and also giving them some saving tips in future that can also help them. And working also has in a tech company where I was a customer specialist. I worked for a US company and also a Canada company where I was a code caller. I helped the US citizens to procure insurance in the specialty, where we call it the specialty aspect. I also helped old age US citizens to incur or to get insurance for their retirement, like a means of a retirement plan. And currently, I'm working also as a code caller, a professional code caller, where in a plumbing company in the US, where we provide inspection services to customers to aid them or to protect their homes from water leakage and some mold growth. And also, we also deal on roof damages. I've in a day, I'm always able to make up to 10 appointments, which increases the which increases the company's revenue intake where I sell, because it's also more selling, where I sell these customers or where I provide these opportunities for the company. I don't know if I've done right or something. Please, thank you so much and give me a comment.
You did 4 minutes. You did 4 minutes. You were saying that you couldn't talk for 2 minutes or a minute. You did 4 minutes because I was looking at the time. You said it at 13:02. This is 13:06. That's 4 minutes. You did 4 minutes conversation. So well done. Yeah, to just speak on this, I would say well done. I like the fact that you spoke about, things that you're doing, areas that there were situations or problem and how you were able to navigate. Although you did give me a loophole, but I'll come to that loophole. I think I've mentioned that a couple of times. But also, you also spoke about you being globally available to do other stuff as well, or like you're working globally as well. So if I was to paraphrase or redirect or change or address or maybe just tweak a couple of things, right? I would say the fact where you said that with like, your name, good and well, and that you had worked in the as a customer experience, customer success, phone conversation, yeah, that was fine and well, right? Where I talked about where there being a loophole was going to be the part where you said, oh, there was some theft or fraud, and you helped the company to save money by 60%. You don't have the data complete to give me that information. That's a loophole because I'll definitely ask you a question on that. That's
Sure.
the thing to feel. If you don't have the data, the complete data, don't give numbers, don't give percentage, just move on. Just say like, oh, based off on what I did or the things I put in place, we're able to save the organization some funds because this did not occur at the rate it was occurring or it was happening. Move on from that, right? And then the part where you talked about that, oh, you were working for the US, you were working for, just say you are globally available to do all of those things, right? There wasn't a need to actually specify, oh, US or Canada.
Jennifer, can you hear us? Or is it my network? Can anyone hear me?
Yes.
Or can you
I hear you. It's Jennifer's network.
Okay, Jennifer's network. We didn't hear you for a few seconds.
hear me? Let me know if you can hear me.
Yes, we can hear you now.
Okay, so it would just be a thing of, oh, I'm available. I've been working in the global space doing XYZ. My work there also entails me saving blah, blah, blah. Working in this other company also gave me insight into helping the citizens to become aware of this perspective, blah, blah, blah. So it's all about how you're coining your words, how you're tweaking it, and how you're presenting it. The perception matters. If you tell me US, I'm just like, but if you tell me like globally, in my mind, I'm like, okay, I want to hear more about this, right? Perception is key. How you're now putting those things across to me also matters. Yeah.
Okay. Thank you so much.
Okay. All right, okay. I do want to believe there's somebody else that wants to take a stab at this.
I need to
Because I
go.
imagine that Jennifer has to run. All right, thank you so much, Jennifer, for you just even birthed an idea that I will carry along after now. Sandra, please tell me the question you want to ask, not the elevator pitch. Sandra and Samuel. Is it one name?
Yes, actually, this is Prince Samuel. No. We're sharing a device.
All right, go
So
ahead.
I'm here with Sandra. Yeah.
Go ahead.
So I want to have a pitch as well. So
Jennifer, I think of Jennifer. This is all Jennifer right now. Jennifer, do you have any?
Currently, I'm
Do you have any
I
time?
need to run to.
You started this.
Okay, he'll be the last one. Let's have it. Because they have another meeting. They've been calling me already.
All right. Please give us your best shot.
Okay. My name is Prince Samuel. I have a degree in criminology and security studies.
Sorry, you said
I also
criminology?
have security studies, and currently on
Sorry, I can't hear you. You're going in.
You're far from your mic.
Okay, hi now.
Slightly better, but not as what could be better.
Okay, let me check. Let me turn off the. Okay, how am I now? How is it now?
Better.
Better, yes.
Okay.
Hi, Glory.
Okay.
The form, Glory.
I'll start again.
Sure,
My name is
go ahead.
Prince Samuel. My name is Prince Samuel Joseph, and I have a degree in criminology and security studies, a master's in criminal justice and security. I have certifications in certified protection professional and also a certified safety officer. I started my career with with a hospitality industry, and while I was in school, I started very early, and after 3 years, I worked in this industry for 3 years. Then I transitioned into risk management position where I worked as a risk management officer. I worked there for 2 years and I transitioned into being a training instructor where I train security professionals in basic security guidance systems. There, I improved the system because we created a training department which elevated the organizational structure, even the selling point for the organization, because the security department became one of the selling points for my organization. There, in the role as a training instructor and risk management professional, I worked for 3 years and was promoted to being a safety manager for the company. I worked there in that role. I managed the HMO, telecommunication devices and communication throughout the organization. We had the opportunity to manage about 8,000 staffs health-wise nationwide. Still on the role, I manage day-to-day safety operational needs in the organization and within the clients' facilities of the organization because we are into service providing. So we have quite a lot of clients, and these clients cuts across multinationals, local organizations. So this also exposed me to the opportunity to work with professionals from different fields, because every organization such as Nestle, Nigerian breweries, flour mills, and so what have you, they have professionals which from time to time we interface and also work. So in my role currently, I work as, I've been transitioned also as a regional security operations manager, which I manage investigation, risk management, health and safety, and all of you. Because I think the higher you go, the responsibility expands. So this gives me the opportunity to work with these organizations and professionals across the country. But the point is, for me now, is I am looking at, hoping and looking at transitioning from where I am to working directly with one of these multinationals, and I have had the opportunity to expand in my knowledge base, having various certifications. As a matter of fact, the CPP certification is a gold standard in security and safety management, and that is like in the world is a global certification. And in Nigeria, as of September, as of January, earlier January this year, we have about 271 CPP certified in Nigeria and about 300 in Africa as a whole. So I am privileged to be one of those. And, so looking forward to improving my skills. I joined Wave when we had a program, and I participated in the coding programs, and that was my first experience. I wanted to get my hands into something, because the world is going into a more global community, and the tech industry is also expanding into different aspects. So I look at it for my industry, security investigation and risk management, as well as we make decisions that affects business models, business decisions, and all of that. So I was looking for how what other skill I can add to my portfolio that can give me the edge that my peers do not have. And I look at the coding as one of those skills that I can actually leverage on to.
So hold on. Sorry to cut you. So you're going from telling me about yourself to something else. So, Jennifer, am I correct?
Yo, I legit I was thinking from an interview. Like we had transitioned from elevator pitch. You are literally going into your experience and all of those things. All I was going to do, I had to at some point I had to go back in mind and be like, but this is not like a proper job. Because my question, and I've chipped in at some point to ask you question regarding a particular role, right? And what you were doing. But I'm like, yo, but that is not what you're here for. You had done, like, I'll give it to you. You've been able to run through every single thing, like your experience, your achievements, what you're doing, how you're upscaling, how you're able to bring value to the company and value to your role. You have spoken about all of that. So what was there, just to ask you a question, like technical questions about a particular job opening or role that you were applying for. That was all that was left, to be very honest. That was just it. If I was to maybe tweak anything or adjust anything here, would be maybe also, it depends on where you're applying to. And if you could maybe infuse some form of infuse their culture in the conversation. That would be the only thing I would probably say, because this is just both of us having a conversation or you just speaking to me. But if I was coming from a recruiter aspect in that space, right, to just be okay, I've heard all of these things, but can I find a way where there's a connect between your personality and our culture as an organization? Because it becomes the job based off on what you're saying, and even just having the certifications that you've had, what you have done, what you've been able to, I'll ask you technical questions based off on all of those things. But yeah, other than that, thumbs up.
I agree.
Thank you. Thank you for that.
Thank you.
Fantastic. Okay. All right. Thank you all so very much. We've gone past our time. But I want to appreciate everyone who stayed behind to just get value from this session. And I truly hope you have gotten more than enough value for the time that you have spent. Remember to follow them on LinkedIn if you have any further questions, or send us an email. I think we sent you an email last night or thereabouts. So yeah, shoot us an email if you have any further questions. I will pass it across to the facilitators. Thank you all. Thank you, Jennifer and Miriam in absentia, for this session. Again, very insightful, very strategic, very, I don't know, whatever word you want to describe it, what adjective you want to describe it. Thank you all. And remember to follow us at Wave Academies on social media. And please, finally, fill the feedback form. It's the only way we know that we are doing, we know what we are doing and how best we can support you in your career journey. Without any other information, enjoy the rest of your weekend and be a rock star and always add value wherever you find yourself. Thank you, Jennifer. Thank you all.
Thank you
But
all. I think I just saw something from Amarachi that I just wanted to just speak about before I zone out. Amarachi had asked that what about if you had a good number of years of experience but don't have a certificate in terms of like maybe BSc, HND, or OND, but have taken some professional course. I would tell you, go and do something. Go and have an OND, HND, or a BSc. You need to have that. You need to have that in as because there is definitely going to be some form of disparity. Like they might not necessarily take you seriously. It's only on rare occasion that they might be like, okay, I can give this person opportunity, even though the person does not have this. But I can see, except maybe your certification can equate to. So you know how you can have maybe for instance, you can have maybe SPHRI or CIPM or all of those things that in a way you still need to have done some of their courses like their beginner courses and all of those things. It might be a bit different. But regardless, in the workspace we are in, you need to have some form of educational qualification. It's an essential. It's only in few and rare times that they might allow that fly, and that is maybe on the discretion of the organization. But a requirement, even in the
you're a high performer as well.
Yeah, you need to have some form of either like a BSc, HND, whatever the case may be, you need to have something. So yeah.
All
Thank
right.
you
That
all. It
wraps
was
up
nice
our
having
session.
you.
Jennifer, they started stalking you on LinkedIn. Sandra and Prince Samuel have stalked you on LinkedIn. All right, everyone. Enjoy the rest of your weekend. Au revoir.
Thank you. Bye, everyone.
So was at Web Academies.